Hello there, everybody. It's me, Garrett Kidney, the co-host of You've Got to Be Kidding Me on the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network.
And I am Liam Jones, my full name, and I'm also a part of the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network as a co-host for You've Got to Be Kidding Me.
We are a TNA history podcast that covers TNA 1 month at a time. We cover all the drama, all the matches, all the Vince Russo nonsense you could ever want in your life.
Have you heard of TNA? I bet you have, but would it be funnier if two people made jokes over it the whole time? Probably.
So if that sounds like fun to you, check it out on this very Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network, and Liam will do bits and whatnot.
Do you like wrestling trivia? Then check out the 5-Star Match Game, the Pro Wrestling Quiz Show. I'm Joe Gagney, and every episode, I grill 3 contestants with 5 rounds of power-packed wrestling trivia. We have over 30 evergreen episodes in the archives covering WWE, AEW, Japan, Mexico, and much, 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 much more. Play along at home and check it out today.
This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
What do you guys want to talk about?
You are listening to the Flagship Podcast with your hosts, Joe Lanza.
If this story was any good, maybe you people would understand it. You don't even understand the story. It goes over everybody's head. How great can it be? Maybe they need to talk more during these matches.
And Rich Crage.
This is my entire life's goal, is to be a WWE superstar, and now I am the NXT Women's Champion.
You can take that. If you want that, great. Good for you. I want him to have to talk about getting roadhead. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I want out of my wrestling. Call me old-fashioned, Joe.
And we are live on the Flagship Podcast. I am Rich. He is Joe. Joe, what's happening? Welcome back. How are you?
I think my landscaper just showed up at 7:44 at night. So
excuse me?
if
Is that a normal landscaping time in Texas? Okay. I assume it's dark, right?
Well, it's dusk. But
dusk?
I mean,
okay.
I wasn't expecting this, so if you hear, landscaping going on, that I can't really do anything about it.
Tell them to leave the grass clippings. You know what I mean? We don't need if you want to cut the grass. We don't need the leaf blower, right? You know what I mean? Like that. We don't need the leaf blower, but
we don't even need the service. Period. The grass isn't even long.
I was going to say, like, how long is Texas grass in late March?
He just shows up, and
is this your same guy? You've had this guy for a while, right?
I've had this guy for going on 14 years. Yeah, same guy. Haven't changed him. So, he used to charge me $25, and he bumped it up to $30 last year.
Inflation, unbelievable.
I mean, that's one price bump in 14 years.
It's not bad. No, it's not bad.
I'll take it. You know, he charges a little extra when I want the trees in the front trimmed, but who gives a shit? Why am I talking about how much I pay for my landscaping? Like, no one could possibly care. This is like, this is definitely off-air conversation, but somehow, but I don't know why he's here. Like, it's 7:45. Like, what are we doing, guy?
Yeah, he just needs, I guess. So now but you have to pay him the $30 though for him coming. So he was just a little short this month, maybe this week's end, and he needed another, couple bucks. Wanted to round out, wanted to get a nice round number. He wanted to get $100 on the day or whatever, $200 on the day. So he's like, I'll do that. That Lanza guy's house.
I owe him a lot of money.
Oh.
Like he doesn't make me pay after he comes every time. And then he'll send me, I'll forget about it. And then he'll just send me a random text and he'll be like, all right, here's the dates of service. You owe me $360. And I'll be like, shit. You know what I mean? And then, then I feel real bad about it. And I guess that's when he's had enough and he wants his money, right? When I get the text that says...
Well, have you guys ever built a relationship? Like, how else are you supposed to leave like an envelope out there? Are you supposed to, as he's, finishing up and packing things up, you walk out there with a crisp 20 and a 10 and go, hey, here you go, pal. Like, how is the transaction supposed to work? Or is this how it's supposed to work?
I PayPal him.
Oh, okay. But when you do, then when the build's up with he doesn't get a few emails from you after a while, then he goes, okay, all right, pal.
He doesn't tell me that he doesn't contact me after every trip. So I might not be home when he comes. You know what I mean? And like, then I'll just get a random text every couple months where he's like, you owe me $470. And then,
damn.
And then I'll be like, listen, I mean, it would kind of hurt to have to pay you $470 in one shot. And then he's always like, oh, I don't care. Just whenever you can get it to me, you go ahead and do installments.
It's like the nicest business owner in the world. Unbelievable.
He's incredible. This is why I don't drop the guy. He's great. And then, so, then I'll send him like 100 a week or whatever until it catches up. But it never catches up, Rich. It never catches up. So I'm always in the hole with this guy for at least a couple $100. But see, here's part of the problem. Why is he coming here 7:45 when he was here like last week? I don't need it cut again. But I feel bad texting him and saying, listen, guy, you're coming too often, because who am I to talk? I owe him like $360.
Right.
So, it becomes one of those awkward things where it's like, he's all right. He's got a point. I haven't paid him since fucking November. So, we're kind of both at fault here, but you can't, can you hear it or no?
I cannot hear it at all. So no, yeah, so far we're good. But that is the plight of many a podcasters is the landscapers. I remember Dave Lagana used to always have that problem when he was doing his I Want Wrestling show and several other shows that I've listened to over the years. You can hear like in the background. It's just it's the plight. Yeah. I guess the podcasting industry, you make so much money that you get landscapers, but your guy only charges $30. So like, because people are waiting to be like, here we go, high and mighty Lanza. But $30, like, I think everybody can, no matter where you live, can say, whoa, that's a pretty good deal. Like, I know for a fact that if I got a landscaper anywhere near, and I do all the stuff on my own because I'm a cheap ass, of course. There's no way it'd be $30. There's no, I mean, to even do my front lawn, they probably wouldn't charge $30.
Yeah, I mean, it's combination where I live, and my backyard's pretty big, but I don't have much of a front yard at all.
I was gonna say this is the important conversation. How long does it take to landscape the Lanza estate?
He's not here that long. He's here maybe 15 minutes.
Okay, not bad. Riding lawnmower gets done in a few seconds.
He's got the riding mower. He goes in the back, and then he's got there's a second guy who follows the other guy with like a fucking.
It's got it. Yeah, they always have to. Always.
The gimmick with the wind. Wait, the fucking
leaf blower.
And he blows
the gimmick with the wind.
I don't, whatever.
Leaf blower, Joe. Leaf blower.
And then there's a third guy who's out there with the weed whacker doing the curve.
So they're taking $10 a head here?
I guess.
Or is main guy doing 20 and then maybe splitting the 5 between something's going. Wait a minute. $30 you got 3 guys showing up?
I've never met the guy. That's the other thing. Like, these are his minions. Like, these are his employees. Like, I don't think I've ever met him, like the guy, because these guys don't speak any English. Because I can't communicate with these guys through words. We have to like do the game where we point and, you know what I mean? Like
thumbs ups. Yeah. Points, thumbs up, point to the tree, thumb up. Yeah. They get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Or the limited English words they know and the limited Spanish words I know. Like, and we can
you meet in the middle. You guys try to meet in the middle there. Yeah.
Yeah, because we're not talking about nuclear physics. We're talking about cutting the grass. So it's easy to communicate because we know what we're talking. We each know what the other guy is trying to say. You see what I'm saying?
Got it. Yeah.
But I've never met like the guy. I've talked to him on the phone and I've texted with him, but he, if I met him, it was like 15 years ago when I set it up and I don't remember meeting him. But then the third guy has like the weed whacker and he does the curb and
has to edge. He does all the edging and stuff. Yeah, classic.
Yeah, and then when I ask him to do the trees, I mean that's a real bargain because he only charges me $10 more, and let me tell you, just hauling away the branches.
Whoa, Jesus Christ, $10 to trim the trees and haul away the branches.
Yeah, because I'm like, I'll be like, hey man, I need my trees done again. He goes, okay, it's going to be 40 this time. And I'm always like, okay, deal. And,
oh man. All right. If you say so.
And because they even haul the branches away, which would be a big problem. If
that's a game changer. Yeah. I had a tree company come and do our trees a couple of years ago and they trimmed them And then I was like, all right, cool, thanks, guys. And they're like, all right, thank you. And I paid them their money, and then they all pulled away. And they left all the tree branches, and I was like, oh,
yeah.
Well, now what do I do? Yeah. And then I had to spend all the next day, trimming them up and tying them up and figuring out what to do with them. And my neighbor, who's a pyromaniac, was like, no, I'll take them and burn them. And I was like, sure, knock yourself out. Like, it was, but we couldn't get out of our driveway. They put all the tree branches in our driveway, and we're like, all right, see ya. Yeah. And our cars were parked there, so then we had to take like an Uber or a Lyft to go out to dinner that night because we were like, well, shit, what are we going to do now? We can't get out of our driveway because it's filled. But yeah, $10 to get the trees and hauled out, man. This guy, all cash, though, right? I mean, this guy is nothing is going on taxes, right, for this dude?
That's not my problem.
That's his problem, not yours.
I'm just getting a good deal. That's all I know. But I don't think people realize how much that is to haul away when you do a tree trimming.
Dude, get a quote. Get a quote. We have somebody right now in the No chat room that just says, I got quoted $850 for 4 tree trims. And I 100%, that is not an inaccurate number that person got quoted. That is roughly around what I would get quoted if I had people come out and do all the trees in my yard too.
Now listen, I don't have redwoods out here. I mean,
I've seen your trees. Okay. They're pretty you could do basic, them.
They're standard neighborhood trees, and they come out with like the Brutus the Barber beefcake gimmick, like the shears, and they and the other guy has like a little chainsaw, right? And they barely have to use the chainsaw, like they're just using the Brutus the Barber gimmick, like and they trim it all up and they take it off, but it's still a substantial pile of branches.
A lopper, it's called. I believe it's called a lopper, by the way. But
what's a lopper?
the Brutus gimmick you're talking about.
You let's call them shears. They're not called shears.
I suppose you could call them, but I think most people call what the thing that you would use to cut the branches would be a lopper. I would say probably.
His don't have the little the red barber stripe on the handles like beefcakes did. No, yeah. But nevertheless, they get the job done. When you think about it, that beefcake gimmick was kind of scary because you could like cut someone's head off with those things. Like, are we sure he just wanted to give haircuts with that deal? Oh,
I agree.
Okay,
yeah, he went pretty reckless. I mean, you could use a razor, you could use a scissors, but yeah, he went with the fucking lopper, which is tough. Or the shears. I guess he had like more shears than a lopper. I believe they are different if you actually look them up.
Shit, that's what I was saying. See, I was right. They're called shears.
Hold on. But no, the thing that you would cut trees.
The boy needs help here. Hold on. Here, I got to open the yogurt for the boy.
Here. Okay, what flavor are we talking here? Let's talk yogurt.
Make sure you throw this out, okay, and get a spoon, but then you got to throw this out when it's empty. You can't leave it in your room because you know why? Why?
It's ants.
You're going to get the ants, right?
Right.
All right. Hit the bricks. It's a strawberry banana.
Strawberry banana, classic. Okay.
Yeah, strawberry banana.
We talking Greek yogurts? We talking Icelandic yogurt or just classic Yoplait strawberry banana here?
Richie's 5 years old. What kind of yogurt?
I don't think he's having Icelandic. Skyer yogurt or whatever. Okay,
you're lucky it's not.
It's a lot of protein. I'm just telling you. If the kid needs protein, I'm telling you, the Icelandic yogurt has a lot of protein. Just saying.
You're lucky it's not a Go-Gurt in a tube. He's 5. Right. I mean, with like Bluey on the
yeah. It's just this horrific.
Oh, okay. I apologize. You are indeed 6.
Oh
My
wow,
bad.
yeah.
Right. He's killing me over there. He's like, wait a minute, I'm 6. You are 6. That's
never get old. No, you don't want to be older. Trust me. Stay young.
Stay
young.
You know what? If you shave that year now, nobody will notice, and you could, cut one off. He don't know what I'm talking about. All right, beat it. Take the animals with you if you can. All right, so
there it is. Yoplait or Dan. It could be Dan too. I suppose.
It was Yoplait.
I predicted. I could tell you're a Yoplait family. I could tell.
How can you spot a Yoplait?
I don't know. I have no idea. I just got lucky that it was Yoplait and not Dannon.
I buy whatever is on sale for $5 for $2.50 or whatever. So whatever brand rotates the sale is what they're getting. So they're kids. They don't deserve to have the things that they want. They get whatever I buy. So they can't be brand loyal yet, except the girl with the barbecue sauce. That's a whole thing. And
we've discussed that. Yeah, we've discussed that. So, Shining Wizard in the No Dope chat room says, Rich is right on the lopper. Joe is right on the shears. So we're both right. It says lopper is for the limbs of the tree and shears are for like a hedge, which is why I think they're using the lopper and not the shears. I've seen those trees.
All I know
the Brutus gimmick
is he looks like he's chasing around outlaw Ron Bass out there. That's all I know. Okay, and that's the thing that he has. So
are his butt cheeks also visible through his pants or no?
Yes, he's wearing pants with cutouts on the thighs and butt cheeks. That's what he's doing out there.
Brother Brutai out there cutting your.
Do you remember the angle with Outlaw Ron Bass where they had to do it? They crawled. It was bloody. So
it was bloody. Yeah, I was gonna say an early blood in the WWF. Yeah,
and to censor that blood. Yeah. So we have such a busy show. This is great content.
This is incredible. Yeah. For new people that come in. Yeah, we said we were supposed to do the opposite. When we now had the idea where like people were coming in later after Ring of Honor, so we were gonna just front load the show. The first half hour is gonna be all the good shit, and the other 2.5 hours are gonna be all the crap. But now we've just done crap for the half hour. So and Ring of Honor is gonna be over in 2 minutes anyway, and then all these J Brones will come in now that they're done watching that show. So maybe this is perfect for us to finish our lawn talk, our Lopper talk, our Danon versus Yoplait talk, and get into the topics of the day. And there are plenty.
But here's the thing, though. Is Ring of Honor really drawn still?
I'll say this. I will tell you this week. Not really affected by the Ring of Honor TV. No.
I got
week one. We were. Week 1 we were. Week 2. Yeah. This week.
Nah, full house here.
Yeah.
I didn't watch last week's until today. I don't know. It hasn't grabbed me, Rich. The Ring of Honor hasn't become priority viewing. You know, I'm not tapping my leg while we're doing the flagship thinking, we got to finish this because I got to get to
Ring of Honor television. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I thought I was going to be way more into it, but it's not bad. I mean, the wrestling is fine. I don't know. I don't know if I get into a show that's taped that far ahead in this day and age.
It just doesn't feel like it has that much. I don't know. It doesn't have that oomph. It doesn't have that. Like you said, it's a perfect show to say, you know what? I got some time. Let's watch Ring of Honor. But it's not anything that I feel like is an appointment viewing. Like you said, a Thursday doesn't go by where I think, man, shit, I got to do a flagship. God damn it, I wish I could be watching Ring of Honor. You know, never comes across. Like even. Like the first week I had it on in the background while we were doing the show, and now like this week it's like I'm good. I'll watch it when I watch it. You know, and it's become that level already, which is probably not great. And it like we said the first week, it's possible that it does get better as time goes on, but right now it feels kind of just like it feels missable. It feels pretty missable. So, and it's up ahead. It's head to head with the flagship. Let's be honest. So,
listen, it's red and black AEW. Let's not fool ourselves. It doesn't feel like a distinctive brand to me. Not enough, anyway. Too much roster crossover. I don't know.
Yeah, it's red and black dark right now is basically what we're looking at.
It's dark with a different ring apron.
For sure.
It's not. It hasn't. I was really looking forward to it, and I understand this is not the final form. Okay? This is not going to be what it is in 5 years. It might not be what it is in a year. But and I understood they had to get the ball rolling. I understand all that.
Yeah.
I can't lie. I'm not super into it. Now, will I be locked into the pay-per-view? I will be. I'll be locked into the pay-per-view. I think the pay-per-views have been excellent.
Those deserve the benefit of the doubt until they have a stinker, which they haven't yet.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just really bummed out that it's not two very distinctive rosters. And maybe it will be. So maybe it's just a slow process. Who knows? I don't know.
But yeah, we got plenty to get to this week. All right. Trying to.
The hell was that?
We're trying to get a dog to leave his current sitting position with a carrot, and it's not going great. Okay, we got it. Dog is gone. The dog is going for a staycation. The dog is going for a staycation in the at the in-laws. So.
A carrot? Get him some dog junk food.
Nah, they love dude. These dogs love carrots and Brussels sprouts and potatoes. I don't know what we did to these carnivores. We've completely ruined these carnivores. Like, we eat chicken, they're like, nah, whatever. I cut a fucking carrot in this house, and they're screaming at me. I don't know what we've done.
Fucking nerd ass dogs. Over
I do have nerd ass dogs. I agree. They're nerd ass dogs. Like, I used to. Yeah, they're no. I mean, they are. They're like, I used to. The comment that I would eat Popeyes, and the dog would like salivate or whatever because he wanted Popeyes. That makes sense, right? It's Popeyes chicken. It's delicious. It's chicken. He wanted it. these days, yeah, I'll eat whatever. If I eat a French fry or chicken, they don't care. I slice a sweet potato and it's like this house is up for grabs. A Brussels sprout, you're nuts. They're nutcases for it. So I don't know what I've just destroyed these carnivores and made them just absolute bitches, like you said. So there you go. Carrots are their favorite though. If you need them to get in the house, do anything, little baby carrot is what does it. But anyway, now
carrot. That's a very Chicago. Carrot.
Oh, how did I say it? Oh man,
carrot.
Crap. Yeah. Right. I'll have to train myself to not do that again. What did I say again? So I can write it down. Carrot. How would you say carrot? Carrot.
I don't think there's a New Jersey way to say carrot.
Yeah, I don't know. Someone's going to tell you you're saying it wrong too, probably, right?
Probably.
So I'm putting emphasis on the CA and you're putting emphasis on the OT.
Carrot. Yeah, maybe, because I'm saying Rick. Like Rick. Carrot.
And I'm saying carrot.
Did you ever see that?
This is terrible radio.
You ever see that Fred Armisen bit? It's on YouTube where he, in like 4 minutes, he's got a map of the United States. He goes through every accent in North America.
Oh, no, I haven't. I'll have to check that out because he's pretty solid. I love me some Fred. So.
It's so good. He starts in Maine and he works his way across the map, and he even dives into Mexico, Canada, and Cuba. And he does every accent in North America, including every borough of New York City, not just the generic lazy New York accent.
Wow, wow! So it goes a little extra there. Yeah, that's
you're getting Manhattan, Bronx, Brooklyn. He does a really nice job. But anyway, in Illinois, he does like Southern
what was
Illinois.
It? What'd you say?
Illinois. Illinois.
No, I'd say Illinois, but that's me.
It can be
What
do you say?
Illinois.
That's what I just said. Illinois.
No, you're saying Illinois.
Yeah, what the fuck? Illinois.
Ill.
Oh, you say like you're sick? Illinois?
Well, yeah. How is it spelled, Joe? ILL, right? Yeah. I'm just saying.
So that's Illinois. Anyway, he does Southern Illinois.
Oh, that may as well be Alabama, by the way.
That's how he does it.
Yeah, Southern, about 30 minutes south of Chicago. It may as well be Alabama at that point.
I wasn't aware of that. See, I wasn't aware of that. And then he does Chicago, of course. But then he argues that Milwaukee has a more of a Chicago accent than Chicago does. And,
whoa, okay, that's a hot take. Interesting.
That's one of the high spots of the bit. Like,
okay.
He goes, like he does Chicago first, and then he goes, and then we have Milwaukee, and then he does Milwaukee, and he goes, and that's more Chicago than Chicago, and everybody goes, ha ha ha, So anyway, I recommend that. I'm almost positive it's on YouTube. Let me see if I can find that shit. So,
well, I'll run down what we actually are going to talk about real wise this week. So Joe's back, by the way, in case you can't tell, we're there. But yeah, we have an insane amount of stuff to get to this week. We have a lot going on in the world of New Japan Pro Wrestling. SANADA has won the New Japan Cup. We'll talk about his transformation over the last couple of weeks, ditching LIJ and now joining the Just 4 guys to make it Just 5 guys as well. David Finlay moving over to the Bullet Club. He faces him in the final. SANADA wins. We'll discuss that match as well as Hiromu Takahashi and Leo Rush for the junior heavyweight title. Some more changes, unit changes in New Japan Pro Wrestling as well with the new member of TMDK. So that is all coming up later. Sakura Genesis is on April 8th. We have a new match that just got announced as we were talking on this show. So we're going to talk about all the matches that have been announced thus far, as well as the one that just got made official during the recording of this show. We have Jake Lee. He is your new GHC heavyweight champion. Yes. We're going to go into the world of Noah. We're going to talk a lot of Noah here because they had a giant show, Voyage, or not a giant crowd, but a giant show, I should say, Voyage 2023 in Yokohama. Jake Lee winning the GHC heavyweight title. Some other matches on that show we're going to dive into as well. Kaito Kiyomia is going to America to accompany Keiji Muto to his WWE Hall of Fame induction, but we think there might be something else going on here. People are saying, he publicly says, it's a learning excursion. I'm going to learn from Muta, yada, yada, yada. And people are kind of laughing at him about that. You and I think we have another theory as to what possibly is going on here. So we're going to talk about Kiyomia going to America with Keiji Muto. And then if there is time, and I hope there is time, catch up with All Japan Pro Wrestling. Some big stuff going on there as well. Some real energetic matches, some fun matches, some fun elevations, some nice outsiders coming in. A lot of stuff going on in All Japan Pro Wrestling that I wanted to touch on later. But of course, if we have time, the All Japan Pro Wrestling stuff I think is definitely not the most important stuff this week. And now we have a whole lot of AEW stuff to talk about. Initially, we were going to start the show talking about Vikingo and Kenny Omega, and then we were going to sprinkle in a little bit of the recent CM Punk stuff with FTR Bald or Dax. I'm going to, you know what? Actually, Joe, I'm going to start calling him Dax Harwood again. Because if he's going to sell T-shirts that say FTR Bald and you're not getting a cut, I'm not going to help that guy sell T-shirts.
It's really unbelievable, isn't it?
So Dax Harwood, on his, he told Fightful Select about some recent conversations he had with CM Punk. It is unbelievable, Joe. So when he cuts that check, he's FTR Bald again. But I'm not helping that guy sell T-shirts. Not until I get a taste. Not until you get a taste. And maybe you could send me some back too. But no, I want you to get the taste. You originated FTR Bald. You get your percentage. You get your taste.
I haven't been contacted.
Not once. Yeah, no routing numbers got sent to you.
No. I'm not getting a piece of this. I'm not getting a taste. So listen, it's not the first time that I have popularized something or made it part of the greater pro wrestling vernacular and not only receive no money, but receive no credit. It's the cross I have to bear for being an influencer and innovative. And, what are you going to do? Some of us are gifted and talented and come up with these things. And unfortunately, we don't get the credit. Podcasts stealing our bits. There's just all kinds of stuff going on out there, Rich.
It's pretty wild, yeah. But we're definitely available. So if Dax wants to reach out, we can.
That's okay. I really don't want to be reached out to.
Do you want to talk to Dax?
You know what?
How much angrier would you be every day if you had Dax talking to you every day?
How many T-shirts is he really selling with his dopey mustache silhouette? I mean,
I'm a FTR Bald guy or whatever the hell the shirts are. I don't know what they are. They're pretty bad shirts. So
imagine wearing that in public.
Probably not too many of them. But yeah, we were going to start with talking about CM Punk and a recent conversation that he had that, Dax said, I was talking with CM Punk and he's reading Steve Keirn's book and it made him miss wrestling. And then Punk followed up with, I'm reading this Steve Keirn book and there's a great story about a fight in a locker room. And then Jerry Lawler drags everybody into an office and they squash it and it's fascinating. And then on Wrestling Observer Radio this morning, Dave Meltzer says, to me, it says that he wants back in and other people have said that too. He's looking to get back in, and it's up to Tony, and Tony's going to make a decision at some point. Right now, he's probably just about ready, if not ready, already ready from a torn triceps. Punk is. So it's just one of those things that he can do soon enough. And that's what we're going to talk about after we talked about Vikingo and Kenny Omega. And, hey, maybe after the Forbidden Door presale, this, CM Punk's, putting some smoke out there, some tea leaves. Maybe there's some fire. And then Mr. Phil Brooks, he does what Phil Brooks does, and he just said, if there's smoke, there's fire, and I'm burning all this shit down. CM Punk is back to being online and back to posting and back to firing off stuff and back to just causing the wrestling world to be just complete chaos. How best do we maybe go over the timeline here of what happened over the course of the 4 hours that I sent that topics and run sheet that we have at flagshippatreon.com to now where we are now, where everybody's getting involved. Punk's out there. Jericho's out there, just a ton of stuff going on. How do you want to do this timeline here to kind of get people up to speed on what the hell is going on with CM Punk again?
Well, it all started with Meltzer's post on his board, right? I mean, that's obviously what Punk saw, and then what Punk responded to on was it Instagram? Because he deleted it.
I believe it was an Instagram story. Yes, it was an Instagram story that he posted.
Yeah, so it was the Meltzer message board post. Let me see if I could pull that up, where we knew we were going to talk about this, and then I didn't have this.
I got it. If you're ready, do you want me to?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so here it is. This is his Instagram story. He said, "Sigh. I wasn't clear to."
No.
Hold
on.
The other one. The other one.
The Dave message board post is what I think.
Sorry.
First.
The Dave Meltzer message board post. Okay, we'll start there. That's probably the good way to start. Okay, let's. I don't have that just yet, so give me 1 second for that one.
totally ill prepared.
This
on
is
the
why
show.
people steal our bits, because we're
It's
do them better, maybe, because we're just complete buffoons that don't know what we're doing. All right,
Absolute
sorry.
buffoons.
All right, got it. Dave says here, in fairness to Punk, he was winning that match in Vegas. He didn't pull a power play to win the title. Tony wanted the title on him then. I'm not at liberty to say, but his own words regarding that match of, quote, Page put in jeopardy the company's first $1 million gate does say something. That was at 3:19 p.m. today. March 23rd.
Yeah, that's the first Dave message board post. But we kind of already knew that. This isn't any new information. This isn't what set Twitter ablaze. That had already kind of been put to bed, that Punk was always winning that match against Hangman Page. So that's not really the new information. Now, he had a follow-up post on the message board, and this is what CM Punk was directly responding to, the stuff concerning Moxley.
Okay, I got that too if you're ready.
That's the one we're ready for. Okay, that's next. Go ahead.
Okay, so Dave says here, do you know why they didn't advertise Punk versus Moxley longer and why it had a short build? Because Punk agreed to do it, then AEW got a legal letter saying he wasn't down with it and he wasn't doing it, and they didn't know if he'd come until Tony put his foot down. There are a lot of nice things I can say about him, and you can absolutely argue his position on Moxley was correct, but you can't argue he willingly did what he was asked in that scenario.
All right, so let's unpack this for people and explain what he's talking about here, okay? If you remember at the time, they did the squash match on television that Moxley won to become the AEW World Champion and to shed the interim label. Then a week later, they did the match at the pay-per-view, which Punk won. Okay? So what Meltzer is talking about here is Punk allegedly, according to Meltzer, sending legal documents to try to avoid doing that television job to Moxley. And that was just an incredible bombshell because no one had heard that story publicly before. I had heard versions of that story, but nothing with legal letters or anything like that. Just that Moxley had heat with Punk.
Right. I forget if we said that on the show, but it was just, I think we alluded to the fact that they weren't exactly the best of friends around this time, is I think how we tried to put it, where there were just disagreements in one way or another.
I don't know if what we said on the show or if we said anything on the show. I don't remember, but I remember talking to people and can you get rid of this cat, please? She's driving me insane.
I can't, but
can you hear the cat?
I cannot hear the cat. No,
she got to go. All right.
Don't kill her. Are you gonna kill her? Or are you gonna just get her out of the room?
Yeah. No, TLB's taking her with her. So I don't understand. As soon as I start recording, the cat is calm and docile.
Because they're cats. They're evil. They're evil beings. I like cats, but they're just the evil creatures. So I'm sorry. I to the cat people out there, I love your cats. They're all very nice, but they're evil creatures, and they're plotting your death, and they're just hell bent on destroying your lives. That's what they do.
She wants attention, is what it is.
Except when you want to give it. Is it one of those cats where the second you want to give attention, she has no time for it, but when you don't give attention, then she's crawling on your head? Or she always wants attention?
It's not, she's very nice. She always wants attention. She always wants to be around us, but I just start doing a show. The people that listen to the solo shows, the cat is out of control. The cat is great. It destroys the shows. And that's with me editing half of it out. So what was I saying? All right, so so to break this down, what Dave is saying is Punk did not like the way that this story was being laid out, with losing the week before on TV with the quick squash and then doing the match again the next week on the pay-per-view, and was against that, and was so much against that he allegedly sent a legal threat to AEW to prevent doing the job to Moxley. And then Tony Khan allegedly, quote, put his foot down, as Dave puts it, and it ended up playing out the way Tony wanted. That's a major bombshell because I don't think anybody heard about. Like I said, I heard about the heat between Moxley.
Yeah, a legal letter is a different animal. That now you've now stepped this thing up a little bit. This isn't just a wrestler saying, I don't really. That story kind of stinks, or I don't really want to lose, or that happens all the time. That's constantly. Wrestling history is littered with guys that don't want to lose and don't. But Punk agreed to do it, and then AEW got a legal letter saying he wasn't down with it and he wasn't doing it. That is big. That's big.
And Dave is also saying that no matter how, maybe Punk didn't handle it right, but his instincts were right because the pay-per-view buy rate was a disappointment. So, the short pay-per-view build and the way they laid it out obviously it did not turn out to be a big money drawing program. It didn't completely bomb, and we talked about that. I remember us talking about, well, they're doing this super short build before they announce this pay-per-view match, and we're going to see if it works. Remember? And then it didn't work. So, nor
did I think you and I even really liked the bill. I kind of thought it was weird. I didn't love it. I thought it was weird and strange. And, when it was all done, like it was a fun, the matches were fun. And obviously the all out match was fun and the squash was fun or whatever. It was a really cool, memorable moment, but I didn't love it at the time. And I really definitely thought, like you said, that it was going to affect buys. Like, I just don't, I didn't see a great scenario where it was going to be, where a bunch of people were going to say, oh shit, now I can't wait to buy this pay-per-view to see what's going to happen next. Like, I think there was probably better ways, and I think we were pretty justified in that for sure.
I don't remember my specific takes, but I do remember being like, well, we're going to find out if this kind of build works. Rather than having the match set in stone 3 or 4 weeks before, we're going to find out if having your main event truly come together at the last minute is going to be an effective strategy. And, it really wasn't. I mean, the pay-per-view didn't do that great. But, the legal letter, okay, so that would tell us what? That Punk either had some kind of creative control in his contract that he was going to exercise to avoid doing this job because he was so steadfast in his belief that he shouldn't lose that match for the sake of the pay-per-view program, or he was grasping at some other straw from a legal perspective, maybe trying to claim that, he felt it would kill the pay-per-view to do the match a week before on free TV, and maybe it was hurting his earnings. That part we don't know and may never know if there was in fact a legal threat sent to AEW, what the basis of the threat was.
Right. The next person that can answer that is Tony Khan or Megan or someone like that would have to give. If they, and obviously they're probably not going to do that, and then they're at no liberty to, reveal what was in legal letters. So like you're saying, we might never know unless somebody wants to say, or there's some real reason, or there's actually a lawsuit that happens and discovery happens and all that sort of stuff. But we probably will never know the actual contents of what constituted a quote legal letter in this case. What exactly that was, or what it was, what the basis of legality wise, what this letter was. We don't know.
Right. So let's do it this way. I'm going to read the Punk statement from Instagram, which very clearly was a response to Dave's message board post, which was going around. And I quote, "Sigh, I wasn't cleared to come back to wrestle yet." He wrote then, but he meant to write the plan was to wrestle at the pay-per-view. I sat and listened to Moxley's Rocky 3 idea. I explained how I'd never seen a Rocky movie, and I thought the idea sucked, but if the boss wanted to do it, whatever. He said he wouldn't lose to me. I'd never experienced someone refusing to lose to me. I just laughed. I asked Tony if this is what he wanted. He said yes. He's the boss, so I said okay, but I'd need to be cleared first. They kept saying it could just be a squash, so I didn't need to be cleared. I scoffed at that. My health is more important. Dave Meltzer is a liar. Jericho is a liar and a stooge. There were plans, but plans always change, but I'll never put a company above my health ever again. End quote. Okay, so let's break this down and work it into what Dave had to say. He calls Dave Meltzer a liar, Rich, but he doesn't specify what Dave Meltzer lied about.
Just in general, just overarching, Dave Meltzer's a liar, yeah.
Well, what's the lie? Is the lie that you sent a legal threat? Is the lie that you didn't want to do the job to Moxley, which maybe that's what he means, because the rest of this statement makes it seem like he's very open to losing to Moxley. He doesn't like the idea, but he's going to do it because the boss wants him to do it. That's what he's saying here.
Right. Because both of them kind of agree. The stories kind of agree at that point, where Punk says, yes, I'll do it. Punk is saying, yes, I'll do it, but I think the idea sucks, but if that's what you want, fine, I'll do it. And then the Meltzer story is Punk agreed to do it, but then came back with the legal letter and said, actually, you know what? No, I'm not cool with doing it. And that's where these things diverge. That's where they change. Because the stories are pretty similar up to that point, but that's where it diverges. Punk is saying, no. I said I was cool with it. I don't care. That's what the boss wants. Whatever. I think it sucks, but if that's what you guys want to do, that's what we'll do. Where Dave is saying that Punk said that maybe, or said, yes, I'll do it, and then sent the legal letter saying he's not going to do it. So there you go. There is now we're divergent. And now we're on two different paths here.
And the little twist to the story that Punk's side adds is that Mox said he wouldn't lose to him. I guess meaning at the pay-per-view, unless, and it doesn't say this, because now we have to fill in the gaps. Because Mox did lose to Punk, right? I'm guessing what Punk meant by that is Moxley wouldn't lose to Punk unless Punk agreed to do the squash match on TV.
To do the Rocky 3 idea that he mentions a little bit earlier for people that...
Now, for people who don't know...
Fill that in for people.
Rocky 3, Mr. T beats Rocky in a squash match, and then the big, the climax of the movie is Rocky coming back and beating Mr. T and getting his revenge. So that's what they mean by the Rocky 3 story, in simplest terms. I don't know who Spider Rico would be in this scenario.
There's a lot of loose ends, but that's fine. We got Clubber and we got Rocky. That's all we need.
That's
Clubber,
all that. Those are the principles, and that's all that matters.
Right, Clubber Lang and Rocky is what we got. That's fine.
Yeah, nobody dies, so there's no Mickey. So it's just But anyway, so I assume that's what Punk means. Moxley refused to lose at the pay-per-view, and the idea being, and now here's the thing, you're probably. See, this was that weird period of time where Moxley may not have been under contract.
Right. Yes.
So he was under no obligation to show up at the pay-per-view and do this match. So, at least from Punk's point of view, Moxley said, well, I'm not going to lose to you then if you don't. Now, here's the thing. This is where Punk may have screwed up and given up the ghost. Why would Moxley refuse to do the job at the pay-per-view if Punk was agreeable to losing on TV? Then what would Mox's gripe be?
Yes, and that was one of the questions I have in my notes is like what trying to get into the head of Moxley, like at what point what is Moxley not cool with in this scenario? What is annoying him in this scenario for him to not want to do business here? That I can't.
That tells
quite
me
figure
that
out.
That tells me there may be validity to the idea that Punk was hemming and hawing about doing this TV job. Whereas in Punk's statement, he acts like, I didn't want to do it, but, whatever. The boss wanted me to do it. So, well, I mean, if you just agreed to it, even begrudgingly, Mox has no reason to say he's not going to lose.
Right, he's
you.
getting his side. He's getting his story and he's getting everything that he wants. Why would he give a shit at that point?
Right. So I think Punk kind of took off the mask there, so to speak, and screwed up. I think he slipped up and exposed something there. So, I don't know. And then again, I mean, do I think Dave Meltzer is what is Dave Meltzer's motivation to lie? Now, does Dave have bad information? Are some of his details off? Probably.
And I think that might be where that next line comes in. Dave Meltzer's a liar. And then all of a sudden, Chris Jericho gets astray here by saying Chris Jericho is a liar and a stooge. I tend to think, given history, that sentence 1 and sentence 2 might be related there.
Yeah, he's saying Jericho's the one feeding him this shit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, because if you take Punk's version of this at face value, honestly, he's the hero of this pay-per-view, because if he doesn't agree to do that job to Moxley, they don't have a pay-per-view main event.
Right.
Because Moxley's not going to lose to him on the pay-per-view unless he loses to him on TV first. So he's also kind of positioning himself as the guy who did the right thing, even though he was injured and not cleared, for the sake of the business and the sake of the pay-per-view. He's not saying that directly, but that's really what he's saying. Whereas Meltzer is saying, this guy was so adamant against this storyline that he tried to get legal intervention to avoid doing it. Which side do you believe? That's up to you as a listener.
Right.
I think we're being pretty fair.
The only Moxley thing could potentially be, and this is just kind of circle back to that, is Moxley says, hey, here's this idea I have. Punk's hemming and hawing. Hey, I think your idea sucks. And it's Phil Brooks, so I'm sure he wasn't mincing words when he probably said, hey, I think that idea sucks and that story's stupid, but if you guys want to fucking do it, then I'll fucking do it, type of thing. You know how he rubs people, and that's probably exactly how the conversation went. And then maybe Moxley, I'm just playing devil's advocate here of what potentially could have happened in the bit. So
yeah, go through it all.
So Punk agrees and says, all right, you know what? I think your idea fucking sucks, but I'll do it, whatever. If that's what Tony wants, cool, let's do it. And then maybe sometime in between there, Moxley's saying, you know what? I'm not losing this guy at the fucking pay-per-view. Fuck this guy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sick of this asshole. He's already probably had run-ins. Yeah. At this time, we already know that he's had run-ins with Hangman Page. We already know that him and the Elite have probably not seen eye to eye on several things. It's CM Punk. I'm sure a lot of people were getting rubbed the wrong way. Eddie Kingston clearly rubbed the wrong way at times as well about CM Punk. Like, there was other things going on at that time, and that might be Jon Moxley saying, you know what? Fuck this dude. No, I'm not losing him at the pay-per-view either. And that could potentially be what Punk is saying. That then there was pushback of Moxley saying, you know what? No, I don't know if I want to lose to you at the pay-per-view. You know what? I don't know if I need that vacation. Maybe I will stay champion. Maybe you could take a vacation. So that is maybe what, or Punk maybe saw Moxley's frustration as him eventually not wanting to do the job. I have no idea, but that's the only scenario that I could potentially see. That doesn't really sound like Jon Moxley, but then again, go back to that promo, that CM Punk promo that Jon Moxley cut the week leading into All Out when he won back the title and said, fragile ego, fragile body, fragile, all that sort of stuff. Like, that was a very passionate promo. So it's possible that this dude had been dealing with this guy for a month and was just like, you know what, fuck him and fuck this. Like, I'm winning this title. I'm not letting him beat me. Screw him. He can go home. I don't give a shit. Like, that's very possible that Mox got to his breaking point with CM Punk. It was just like, no, I'm not losing at the pay-per-view. Screw that.
So let's look at possibilities of what the legal threat could have been based on. Okay. The obvious one is he has some sort of creative control, right?
Right.
Which is very plausible. I mean, I could easily see him negotiating that when he signs with the company. Number two would be some kind of claim of feared loss of income because of giving the match away for free or whatever.
Right, depending on his deal, I mean, we don't know what the obviously CM Punk's contract is, but it's very likely that he was probably getting a percentages of houses, percentages of pay-per-views and stuff like that. Like, when you're going to bring in a guy like that out of retirement, you have to pay him a lot of money, and it's very similar to what WCW had to do with Hulk Hogan. They had to give Hulk Hogan just an insane amount of percentage of stuff. Because, when you're going to get Hulk Hogan, you gotta sweeten the pot a little bit if you're going to get Hulk Hogan to come to your company. And that I'm sure, without looking at the details, positive Punk was getting percentages of houses, percentages of pay-per-views, all that sort of stuff. For sure he was.
And I'll say it again, and I said it months ago, there's a very strong rumor going around that he has an ownership stake, which really complicates all of this. And I could easily see that being the case too.
Right. Which and then people always bring up, well, why doesn't AEW ever say anything about this? Why do they never release a statement? Well, it might be a little more difficult if a guy who's got some points in the company.
True,
if a guy who's got points in your company is causing all this stuff, you don't necessarily want to, or you can't legally, fire him or put statements out or whatever. So, yeah.
And then the third reason why he might legally try to stop this match is the other thing he mentions in his statement, that he wasn't medically cleared, that he was hurt.
Right, the legal letter in this case. I suppose Punk would say, like, I had a doctor's note or whatever, but maybe I don't know, maybe a doctor then gets to his lawyer who then says, no, he's not medically cleared, or, you know what I mean? Like, who knows?
Or maybe he's grasping at any potential straws he can to not do this job.
Right.
Because he feels that strongly that it's bad for business. And the way that Meltzer terms it, that's what it was. Meltzer doesn't say anything about he doesn't like Jon Moxley and that's why he doesn't want to do it. It's Punk's business instincts were that this was a bad idea. And look, they're not friends. Like, they obviously don't get along now. And this caused a rift between the two of them. But there's no indication publicly that Punk didn't want to lose to Moxley on TV simply because he didn't want to put Moxley over. It seems to be Punk felt strongly that it was a bad business decision to do so. And maybe the idea of the injury and not being cleared was his last gasp attempt legally. And now we're just speculating on the potential angles he could have used to legally stop the match, which obviously none of them were strong because none of them worked, and he did the match. Or he just threw his hands up and said, you know what? Fuck it. Let me just do what they're asking me to do, and I'm going to be right in the end. This is going to not work, but I've caused enough shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then he deleted this. And that's when Chris Jericho chimed in.
We knew. Everybody was saying, well, who's the next person? And every single person that's followed this business for any amount of time, anybody, if you were on our Discord, voicesofwrestling.com/Discord, somebody, I forget who it was, said, well, who's going to talk next? And a string of like 30 people that all have been and seen this shit and done this shit for enough time all said Jericho. That was just like, if you looked on the scroll, it just was Jericho. Like 20 people just saying, it's going to be Jericho. And of course, guess who it was? It was Chris Jericho.
Well, Jericho's not going to be called a stooge and a liar and not respond.
Hell
and
no.
Jericho also has the stroke to where he's going to do what he wants. And nobody, including Tony Khan, is going to tell him not to say. I mean, Jericho's going to do what he wants. Jericho's Jericho, and Jericho is keeper of his own flame, and Jericho's going to be Jericho, and Jericho's going to do what he wants because he's Jericho, because he's Chris Jericho. And that's just all there is to it. So we knew he was going to have something to say, and he'll probably have more to say at some point. But yeah, I mean, this is all, and you know, and Meltzer on the audio was saying that, you know, he doesn't think that they'll bring Punk back unless they're absolutely desperate and they're in dire straits and everything's completely falling apart. It's very obvious that in the last week or so, Dave has been talking to some people about this Punk situation because this had all been very quiet for a long time. And now he's discussing it on audio. Now he's got these new tidbits on his message board that no one had really heard the details of before. So, you know, previous, he had spoken to the Punk side a lot, and it's very obvious he's getting some information from the other side. What's interesting to me is now that Punk is talking, that might open the door for some of these other people to start chirping, and hopefully the floodgates open. What we really need to happen here, and I don't think it's going to, is for somebody to say something that triggers all online Tony, and we get a Tony thread.
Yeah, we need the I'm fucking sick of this shit, you know, the pounding the table Tony we need.
But I think he's too smart for that, for a million different legal reasons.
Well, and Punk's also bringing in a little bit of extra legal part of this as well by saying that I was not exactly saying it, but in no uncertain terms saying I was kind of forced to work even though I didn't feel I was healthy, type of thing. You know what I mean? Like and now that kind of complicates things even a little bit more if that's true. If you read into that the way that I read into that, that's kind of what his, you know, he's the boss, so I said okay, but I'd need to be cleared first. They kept saying it could be a squash, so I didn't need to be cleared. That's line right there. They kept saying it could be a squash, so I didn't need to be cleared. I scoffed at that. My health is more important.
Yeah, and that's where I would say that your little theory earlier may be accurate, to where maybe Punk was like, all right, I'm going to do it, but I need to be cleared. And then maybe that's when Mox threw up his hands and said, well, fuck this guy. I'm not coming to the pay-per-view. I don't even work here. You know, like leading to that frustration of,
right, Tony, you want me to sign this fucking contract? Well, then tell that guy that I'm not losing to him, you know, type of thing, which was at play right now. We had verbal agreements, but nothing was signed. Nothing with Moxley was signed at that time. They even publicly announced when Moxley re-signed or whatever in October or whenever it was. Like that. Yeah, so we're talking about a very weird time where Moxley, I mean, I don't think that there was a threat that Moxley was going to leave, but it's still leverage. You can still come to the room and say, well, you know what? I don't need to sign this right now. You know, I've been kind of meaning on doing a vacation for a little bit. Yeah.
Well, think about it this way. If Punk is saying, I'll do it, but I need to be cleared, okay? And then Mox is saying, well, if he doesn't do it, I'm not coming to the pay-per-view. Then both sides are right for saying that the other didn't want to do a job for them.
Correct.
And you could see why both sides would be saying that. You know? So, where I think... See, the thing about Punk is I want to phrase this properly, okay? I don't think he's like a deliberate bald-faced liar. I think Punk is a unique person who creates alternate realities in his head and believes them.
Right. So that he can justify everything that happens in his life.
And I don't even think he does it on purpose.
No. A lot of us do it. I mean, he's not that different from what a lot of humans do.
I'd say a lot different than a lot of. But I get what you're saying.
No, I know a few punks in my life, but the warping reality to kind of fit and justify how you interact with people is not, that a lot of people do that. I mean, he particularly does it on the grandest stage you could possibly do it, but I don't think I just mean he's not like he's not like an evil human being for doing that. I think more people than we might think warp reality to kind of fit their narrative and fit what they think to justify their decisions and the way that they treat people in the way that because I'm with you. I don't think CM Punk is a liar. I don't think he sat down and said, "Aha, I'm going to lie about this." But I think he maybe.
I don't think he's saying, "What can I lie about that people will buy?"
Right. I don't think he's that kind of guy.
That's a liar. That's someone who's just a liar trying to think, all right, what will people believe? Let me crack my knuckles and come up with. I think he believes all of the shit that he says, but I think that a lot of it is just. He convinces himself that he's always the hero of the story and he's never wrong, and then he believes these warped senses of reality in his brain. The point I'm trying to make is, I think he probably really believes that Jon Moxley wasn't going to do a job to him, and I think that the other side of the story is true too, and that Punk was trying to get out of doing the job to Moxley. But I don't think he was trying to get out of the job, doing the job to Moxley in a diabolical way. I just think he really thought it was better for business to not do the job for Moxley. That, for whatever, I believe that based on reading both of these
or his interpretation of how Moxley acted could potentially be warping this as well. Like I'm saying, did Jon Moxley say, you know what? I'm not going to lose to you at All Out, and you can and Tony, I'm not losing him at All Out, or was Moxley like, well, it could have been possible Moxley was just grumbling and being and like, screw this guy, I don't need this shit type of thing, and Moxley and Punk might be interpreting that as Moxley saying, well, I'm not going to job you at All Out or whatever. Like, we don't know that. We don't know if Moxley explicitly said, I'm not going to come to the pay-per-view, I'm not losing this title, or if Punk is kind of the pushback and the push and the pull and the arguments or whatever led to him assuming that Moxley wasn't going to show up. You know what I mean? We don't know that, but like you're saying, like, I don't think he's lying either way. I whatever the truth is, I don't think he's lying. I just think he maybe interpreted a situation differently, or Moxley maybe did tell him, fuck him, I'm not losing it to him at All Out. I have no idea. I don't know. That's the part we don't know.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it's what we thought it was earlier this afternoon when we had one side where it was just CM Punk has decided that he doesn't want to lose to Jon Moxley, and he's pulling just old. It seems to me, even Meltzer goes out of his way to say Punk's instincts weren't necessarily wrong. I don't know what the exact verbiage was, but just, as always, the way he goes about it. I mean, send in a legal letter. What are we doing? We can't get in a room and figure this out. We got to get lawyers involved. If that was in fact the case, we're taking a lot at face value here from both of these sides. Maybe he didn't send a legal letter. I don't know. But as far as not wanting to work unless he was medically cleared, Rich, do you think he was hurt, or do you think he was quote unquote hurt? Like, maybe he saw the injury as a way to wiggle out of what he thought was a bad storyline. And he's just kind of playing this idea up that, because he knows people will be sympathetic to that.
Oh, sure. If you have an injury, I had to work hurt or whatever, which he's right, because people will be sympathetic about that, and people will say, oh my God, Tony Khan was making this guy work while hurt. I'll just point out that every single wrestler is always hurt. You know what I mean? Like, every athlete is hurt. Every wrestler is hurt. The extent of the injuries obviously are very different in many cases, but you could use that excuse literally any day. If you're a professional wrestler at any level, especially in your 30s or 40s, there's a very good chance that your body is in fucking tremendous pain when you get to the arena, and you can easily say, I'm hurt, I can't work.
To be fair, this was an injury that did have him on the shelf.
Sure, but he was good 2 weeks after that.
Right.
He didn't seem that hurt at all out. He seemed pretty okay, and apparently was medically cleared then.
But particularly in the current social environment we're in, that's going to garner sympathy.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
If you're being asked to work hurt. In fact, you could argue that a proponent of workers' rights would strongly back Punk in this situation.
Right? This is what's going to get Hangman and Tony and Punk back in the room together. They're going to sit down and go, all right, pal. Yeah, workers' rights. Am I right, buddy?
This is a shining example of workers' rights, in my view, Rich. There's that aspect of it. Was he hurt or was he hurt? And then there's the Jon Moxley question that we'll pose, which is the on-screen reason. And the reason we were given was that Moxley hated the idea of interim titles.
Yep.
And wanted his title to be a real title reign, even if, it was only for a week, that win would solidify it as a real reign and not an interim title reign. Could that be sort of the on-screen / cover reason that Moxley wanted this win? While the real reason could have been Jon Moxley's a pro wrestler with an ego, and he doesn't want to do a job for this guy who he doesn't like very much unless he gets a win in as well. I mean, we have to consider that.
Right. And I
know we all love Jon Moxley, the crazy guy who comes out to Wild Thing and just wants to bleed. But he's a pro wrestler with an ego, like every pro wrestler with an ego. You have to consider the possibility that he's playing some politics too, and he's home going, well, fuck that guy. I'm getting a win on him before if he thinks he's just beating me. I mean, how can you not consider that?
Of course. Like I said, go back to that promo. Go back to that promo in the lead up to All Out. That was as much Jon Moxley as it was, Jonathan Good or whatever. You know what I mean? That was a very impassioned promo and very cut deep. Even at the time, I remember being like, "Ooh, okay, that has a little more juice to it." That in a long string of people cutting very juicy promos at CM Punk, that was the last one that felt very like, "Oh, something's okay," because I was a very angry man at that time. I think there's absolutely the possibility that Moxley, who by all accounts, everybody seems to get along with him, but it's very possible that Punk brought him to his absolute breaking point. And he just was like, fuck this guy. I'm not doing this shit. Screw this guy. I don't have a contract. I haven't had a vacation in 2 years. I don't need this shit. Fuck this guy. Fuck this. I'm out of here. You know what I mean? Like that's,
yeah. And if I'm losing to this guy, if I'm laying down for this guy in front of 150,000 people, I'm squashing him on TV in front of 1 million. Right? Like, is that really not plausible that he might have thought that way?
Absolutely not. He's still a wrestler. He's still a wrestler. He might be Jon Moxley. We all love him, but he's still a wrestler.
Yeah, and there was obviously heat by that point. But okay, and here's the other piece of this. Rich, do you want to do the interim title victory lap / rant?
Oh my God. I mean, you should do it because I think you were first with it, but you and I were if you were first, I was second. We thought it was a bad idea from the beginning. It was stupid and it was dumb. And oh my God, was it stupid and dumb, and everybody hated it, and it caused how many backstage fights were a result of these stupid ass interim titles? Joe, you take the victory lap. It's all yours. Go ahead.
Tony, I know you hear this sometimes. Do I think Tony Khan is refreshing his podcatcher every Friday morning for the flagship? I don't. Do I think he's heard this show? I do. Yeah, okay. Do I think people in that company hear this show? They do. Tony, I'm telling you, enough with the interim titles. How much more stress and controversy and nonsense these stupid interim titles have to cause? You employ pro wrestlers.
They do them in boxing. They do them in boxing, Joe.
They're all crazy. They all have egos. It's caused problems in the women's division. It's caused problems, massive problems. And, with this scenario we're talking about, enough with the interim titles. You're hurt. You can't wrestle. Just either strip these people or don't. I don't care what you do. But no interim titles. It makes no sense, particularly in a worked sport, to have these interim titles. And now you're just pissing off half your locker room. They got to go. This has to be the learning lesson where it's like, okay, now I know why nobody has done this in the history of wrestling. Because it's a terrible idea. And the egos in the locker room can't handle it. They stink. They got to go. And I was right. And much like Roman Reigns, I demand people acknowledge me. I was right about the interim titles. Like I'm right about most things. They stink. You have anything to add, Rich? Because I know you feel the same way.
No, I just it's again. Remember all those conversations we talked about this day one when they first announced interim. When the first time that they uttered the phrase interim title, we on this show said, "Ugh, Tony, don't do it. Just strip them." Keep him with the title. And the first one wasn't even that long. We were like, if the guy's only going to be out like a couple weeks or whatever, a month or two, that's fine. Just like let him rehab and come back. There's no need to do this interim title thing. And just what a fucking disaster.
The first one was Cody had COVID.
Right.
He came back in a week.
We're like, he'll be back in 2 weeks. He'll be back in a week. Chill out, brother. It's okay.
It was either him or someone in his family. Either way, he had a COVID issue.
Right. And he had to miss one defense. And it's like, that's okay. It's all right. It's fine. You know? Or strip him. If you must, strip him. You know, and New Japan does that. Hey, you missed the show because you're sick. You're stripped to the title. Okay. I mean, that's a little extreme. Like, I don't think I would do that. I would just say, you know what? Cody can't make it to the show tonight because he's sick. He'll be back next week. Okay, fine. You know, and move on with our lives.
It fucks up your booking to just strip. I understand that. But then you have a new built-in storyline to work off of. So,
which we said at the time was a great story. The guy comes back and goes, I never lost that title. I want a shot at that title. There you go. Boom. Got it. It's good to go.
I think the idea is if you put an interim title match on TV, it's a title match. So it's going to, on paper, pop a number.
Sure.
If you put an interim title match on a pay-per-view, it's a title match. So it might help pop a number. But is there any evidence that these interim title matches are drawing above and beyond to the point where it's worth the stress on the other end of them that it causes?
Everybody hates him. Moxley very publicly said he hated it. Toni Storm very publicly said she hated it. Obviously,
confuses the fans.
It confuses the fans. Thunder Rosa and that whole shit all was a result. I mean, there is so many things that have happened. Even if it popped another 50,000 people watching your show in a week, it's not worth the hassle of all this that we've had, where multiple fights as a result of these fucking interim titles. Just no. You either miss a show, you get stripped of the title, you take a few weeks off, or what? We got to stop at the interim titles. We warned you. We warned you. You didn't listen. Hopefully you'll listen now. Did not work. It was bad.
You know, you can really spin all of this into there being a lot of heroes of this story. Okay. Punk, by agreeing to get squashed on TV, okay, he saved the pay-per-view main event. That wouldn't have happened because Moxley would have walked. Mox, by agreeing to lose to Punk after squashing him on TV, same thing, right? Like he thinks he's the hero of the story here. So it's like there's a lot of people who can claim that, hey, I did the right thing. You know, I was the bigger man. I did business the way business is supposed to be done. You know, Moxley can say, I did the job and then I re-signed with the company.
Yeah.
And Punk should say, I did this stupid Rocky storyline. It was a terrible idea. And I saved the pay-per-view. Right. So, and that's where these things kind of get off the rails a lot of times, because it's like everyone thinks they're right. And everyone's making an argument that they're right. So, you know, there's that aspect of it too. And what my hope is this becomes even messier and more people decide to talk about this stuff and we find out even more details, because, you know, it's just enlightening when getting the Punk side, whether you believe he's full of shit or not, just you could read between the lines, you can interpret things, you can get his perspective, and then it gives us a much fuller picture the more people come out and have things to say. And I'm sure Dave now will clarify his side of things now that he's been called out by Punk. So this is pro wrestling, baby.
I love it. This is it. I said that in our Discord, but like, whether you like it or not, this is the business, man. If you don't like this, then you don't like wrestling, man, because this is just what it is. This is a carny, trash-ass business of everybody taking this dumb shit way, way, way too seriously. Way too seriously. And that's why we love it, because we take it way too fucking seriously. And it's dumb. It's pro wrestling. It's the stupidest shit ever, but this is why it rules. I love this stuff. Anybody who doesn't love this, I'm sorry. This is the business. This is the real business. Enough of your Dolph Ziggler's and your Ali's and your I'm just happy to be here guys. No, this is wrestling, baby. This is it. Backstage fights, injunctions. Like, this is the business, baby.
Yeah, so I'm out of breath. I don't know if you heard that, but It's just ridiculous. Landscapers, out of control cats. Now I'm in the middle of trying to break this down, and I hear one of the TVs in the den just like at full bore. So I quickly put myself on mute and ran up there while you were talking.
I did not hear it.
The blind ass dog hopped up on the couch, stepped on the remote, turned the TV on, and also pushed the volume all the way to like 90. so I got to run upstairs.
What were they watching? What was on TV?
The March Madness
okay.
time or whatever this is. Full blast. The dog is now cowering because she's blind.
She thinks you're mad at her, even though, well, I mean, you're not mad at her, but you're, it's not her fault.
At the sound of this TV.
Oh, the TV scared her. Yeah.
So I had to run up there and turn that off, and now she's following me back down. It's always something.
What a life!
Opening yogurt, cats running around, landscaping at 7:45, blind dogs turning on the TV.
I'm trying to feed dogs carrots as the show's going on. Yeah, it's a fucking mess. Yeah. We need to get a real studio here. We got to figure out a way to do this thing. We got to get people working for us. We got to get a real studio going here. Come on.
It's ridiculous. And then every third show, in this one, I don't even talk. Every third show, TLB gets frisky. She comes down here and flashes me, trying to taunt me. It's ridiculous.
I guess you're not totally opposed to that one, though. That one's okay.
I mean, I'm not listen, I don't hate it, but I'm saying, like...
Try to do a show here. Try to do a professional operation. I'll look at those later.
We're an hour and 45 minutes into a 3 hour and 15-minute podcast, and I can't be thinking about titties. It's too long to go. I'm an animal, Rich. I'm hard to contain.
Especially if you got a Rhino 1000 in you. But that...
Yeah, listen. You got to keep them in the drawer. You never know when they come in handy. Got anything else on this Punk Mox?
No, I think
we did a great job.
I think we did a fantastic job there. Yeah, covering all angles, giving the details, bang by bang, minute by minute details throughout the whole thing. So yeah, hopefully we caught everybody up. We'll see, of course, what happens in the days leading up or the days prior. This, like you said, my hope is that we've ripped the Band-Aid off and now people are just going to talk about this, which is probably in the end going to be better for everybody just to get this shit out of here, because it's been such this weird cloud, and it kind of went away when the Elite came back and it was like, all right, the Punk things, but it was always this weird thing of like, well, still that guy, like is he coming back, like what's going to happen? And you I'll admit you had a little bit of an inkling, because you said, hey, you know what, there's some Punk stuff going on where he's talking about this Steve Kern book, and I guess I should point that out, because we kind of glossed by that because that's not the important thing here. How do you interpret this? So Dax Harwood, again, I'm gonna call him Dax, I'm not calling him Bald anymore because until you get that cut, told Fightful Select, quote, in recent conversations with CM Punk, Punk has said reading Steve Kern's book has made him miss wrestling. So there's the one. And then Punk put out a post, I believe on Instagram, that said, great story about Gator and Coco fighting in the locker room, and then Lawler drags them in an office the next day and they squash it. Fascinating. Now, how do you read that Punk statement there? Do you think that's him saying, maybe I should get in the room with these guys and squash it? Or is it him saying, real leaders, bring everybody in the room and squash it? Tony wasn't a real leader. Because I don't know if I'm on the former or the latter there.
Well, this is what precipitated Dave talking about Punk wanting to come back on audio. So, Dave must have it on authority that Punk wants to come back. And I think Punk has been dropping little subtle hints and things like that as well. So I think it means that Punk does want to come back. The question is, and I guess we could talk about this, who does he have to talk to? Who does he have to apologize to? What does he have to do to atone in order to come back?
Well, not what he did today. I'll tell you that. What he did today, probably not the right path.
No, I mean, throwing Jericho under the bus, throwing Mox under the bus. So he might have a longer list of people.
He's going to have to apologize to a few more people now, for sure.
He threw Tony Khan under the bus for saying he wanted him to work injured. So, yeah, I mean, and maybe this is why Meltzer's stance is that he wouldn't do it.
I think he said like in an extreme case, if we absolutely need to pull the, break the glass in case of emergency, call CM Punk. Until then, we're probably not calling the guy.
Warner Brothers Discovery says that we need to average X amount of viewers over the next 4 months or we're out of here. Yeah, you call up CM Punk and you give him whatever he wants. That's kind of the scenario that Dave is talking about. But yeah, I don't know. And we know that this isn't over. I mean, we're doing this live on Thursday. There's going to be more to this. But but again, if it's a scenario where he just has to go around and apologize to a bunch of people, and as long as those people are satisfied with what he does to atone, I've seen a lot of people saying, well, he's got to do something publicly because he's the one that runs around saying that the apology has to be as loud in public as the disrespect.
Wow. Yeah,
right.
But
and I get that, like throwing his own words back at him. I totally understand that. I get it. It's a gotcha. But if he apologizes privately to all parties involved who require one in order for him to get his job back, I don't think he needs to say anything publicly. In fact, at that point,
oh hell no, I don't want him to say anything public. I want to make some fucking money off this thing.
Correct. If all parties are satisfied with his atonement, it would be a bad move to then make him do something publicly, because you want people to think that there's heat when he comes back. And that's the new work, because people don't believe the old work. So if everyone's truly happy with if he's contrite and he apologizes to everyone he needs to apologize to, he's breaking bread with Mox, and he's hanging out with TK again, and he's sharing good times with the elite in this fantasy world that I'm building here.
I'm just imagining this with like rainbows in the background and like tulips everywhere. They're skipping through a grassy, field. And like,
if all of those people are happy with that,
yeah,
fuck no, you don't make them do anything public, because that then everyone knows that the hatchet is buried, and people don't need to know that. As long as it is, that's all that matters. And then it's easier to make money off of it. That's just fans in this sort of, and I think we've been fair about this. We bury anyone involved in this when necessary. And in this last segment, we've looked at all angles and possibilities of what all this stuff can mean. But that's just, that's elite fans wanting a pound of flesh. That's what that is. And that would be
they want the embarrassment of Punk hat in hand saying, yes, I'm sorry, but we don't. I want to make some money. I don't care about that.
Now listen. Now I will say this: if the people that require an apology want him to do it publicly, then he has to do it publicly. I want to be clear here. Okay, if the idea is Tony Khan says to him, "Well, you humiliated me at that presser. You put me in a no-win situation, so we can do business again, and I would love to put all this behind us, but you need to publicly address this." Well, now he has no choice. You call a presser, and Punk has to eat shit for 15 minutes behind a microphone and do what he has to do to come back. But what I'm saying is, if the people involved are okay with private apologies, he's not required to give a public one. I don't care what he said. Now we're just playing pound of flesh games, and that business will come before that. So I don't know. Where do you stand on it?
No, I agree. I think that the best thing that everybody could possibly do is get in a room. Like literally, if you got to get them all in a room, that's fine. Get every single person that's been wronged, every person that's angry or whatever, sit them down and just say, all right, do we all want to make money? If we don't, then that's fine. If we all want to come together, we can do this, and we can make a lot of money with this, and this can be a great story. This can be an all-time great story in pro wrestling history, but I need everybody to buy in, and you don't have to like each other. You don't have to get along. All I'm asking for is X amount of time to get this story across, and then all of us can go, we can all do whatever we want afterwards. We can all go separate ways or whatever, but we all got to get in this room, and we need to agree that we're going to be cool with it, and if we're all cool with it, let's go for it, and this doesn't leave this room. You know what I mean? Like, this doesn't leave this room. You can tell the other AEW employees or whatever, but tell them this doesn't leave the room either, because I think the best thing you could possibly do with this story is not make it public and let people think that this guy is truly angry, that everybody hates each other and everybody's angry or whatever, because like you said, The old work, that's got to be the new work. The new work does not work anymore. You got to go back to the old stuff where people think that they're smarter than they are. People think they know everything. They think they know the inside, but they don't. They don't truly know it, and that is how you can do this story and do it well and get it to its max, whatever it's going to be. So yeah.
Now he probably has to be a heel in that scenario.
Oh God, fine. Yes, yeah, because he's going to come out and I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I think he would. I mean, the tenor around has been mostly anti CM Punk, fuck CM Punk chants, multiple places, and that's good, and that's advantageous, I think, to AEW.
If he wasn't a heel, he can make himself one quickly.
Yes, because he's CM Punk. He's very good. He's a very easy man to hate in both storyline and in real life. Yes.
Well, plus he has all this material to work with. I mean, it'd just be simple to turn the crowd on him, and optimally, he'd be a heel everywhere, and he'd be a babyface in Chicago. That would be optimal. And you have that Bret Hart dynamic, which that would be phenomenal. Yeah, I mean, and if he has to do it publicly in order for this to work, then I guess he has to do it publicly. And if they need him to apologize to the whole locker room the way that the Elite reportedly did, then maybe he needs to apologize to the whole locker room. And
I would have, if I'm them, I think the smarter thing is to have him apologize to the locker room, but not apologize publicly. I don't think you need that. You don't need a Twitter scalp. Fuck that. Who needs that shit? That's so dumb.
No. The adults in the room understand that you don't need that. If I think that now look again, if Tony Khan feels deeply insulted by his behavior at the presser and wants him to atone publicly, I understand that. I get it, but if the private apologies are enough, I don't think you owe the public anything in terms of a public apology. That's nonsense. No, now, if we're all getting along now we're getting back to working the public.
Right. We're all in together to work the public. That's what this business is supposed to be. You know what I mean? Like right. That's what it's supposed to be. It's not meant to be, we're buddies with the fans. No. The idea is we're all in this together, professional lying to you about this thing, and we want to get your money. Give us your money so you can watch us do what we do. That's the goal. Not we're buddy, we're friends. Here's a Twitter scalp. Here's a bunch of likes and some back pats and a retweet or whatever. That shit, leave that shit out of here. Fuck that. I don't want that. No.
So one last wild scenario. Is it possible? We have never done this. We have never gone down this road. Is it possible that this is all an elaborate work with this new reality show coming and peaking that reality show with the presser and the fight and then parlaying that? Because this is all starting to percolate at a very odd time when this reality show is coming. And they're dropping hints that we're going to see stuff from that night. Right? So are we starting to peak all this shit from when the reality show drops? And then we're going to build the reality show to that big climatic night and then kind of work Punk in back at that point? Are they all... Now, I'm not saying that everything from the start was a work. That would be preposterous. But has this all been put to bed? What do you think, Rick?
I don't. I can't get with that. I know that some people still have that thought, and I know the way you lay it out there isn't impossible. Like, it's not like the way you lay it out there, I'm like, but there's a lot of moving parts there. I don't know. I just don't, to me, I don't know if that could benefit enough to make it I don't know
here's why I say no.
The correct way to articulate it, but I don't think it's worth all of this work to pop some numbers for this reality show.
And piss everybody off.
And yeah.
Because here's the thing too. You need Dave to post on his message board to get Punk to post. It's just too much involved.
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of moving parts here that got to go.
And there's so much of it
perfectly.
And so much of it is kayfabe breaking stuff. Like, oh, I won't job to him. And that's just not the... Look, I know it's kind of a meta promotion, but that kind of fourth wall stuff, they've tiptoed to it, but they haven't really completely gone down that road. And I think it would be weird to base something worked off of a bunch of guys not wanting to do jobs to each other. we're really in Russo territory.
Oh yeah. We're New Blood Rising, where the main event is none of the three guys want a job, and who's going to do the job? Come watch New Blood Rising. Guess what? Nobody watched New Blood Rising because nobody gives a shit about guys arguing about who's going to do the job because it fucking sucks. You know what I mean? Like that stuff's garbage.
Absolutely. But I thought it was worth at least because I see some people who
So in that scenario, the problem with that scenario is you're either lying to Dave. And I don't know if that's a really good road to go down. That's a horrible idea. That's a terrible idea, a bad road to go down. Dave's involved in this, which is not, that's not
preposterous. That's preposterous.
And then also, you're just pissing on your fans. You know what I mean? You're doing the Russo shit where you're just pissing on your fans. And there's been one time in history where but even that, no, I'm trying to say the Montreal Screwjob, but no, that wasn't, it was all shoots. So no, there's no way. Every time you try to do worked shoots, fucking stink. They always suck. They never result in any tangible movement in business. So no, terrible. Just no. I would hope not. I would be disappointed in all parties involved if I found out it was work. And I just think there's too many moving parts, too many things that have to come together, too many things that have to be just precise and perfect for it to be the case. So I don't know why this timing, like you said, it is very fortuitous timing. I don't think that I don't think it could be that. There's again too many things that have to come together for it to be that, just for this dopey little reality show that honestly they're probably fine with. We get 200,000, 300,000 people, fine, cool, whatever. You know what I mean? I can't imagine that all this is to pop a couple of numbers on that TV show and they care that much to do that. I don't know. That's me personally.
The other conspiracy part of it is that the reason Tony Khan refuses to ever say anything about any of this is that if it is all a work, you can't come back and say, oh, well, you were working us this whole time. How dare you? He can have plausible deniability and say, I never said a word. But again, that's just as deceitful to me, to where I would think that reporters and media people would never be able to trust him again. I mean, it's lying by omission is really what it is at that point, But anyway, it's ridiculous. I don't buy it either. But we've seen dumber things, so
we certainly have in wrestling. Yeah,
you would think that all of these people would be too smart to go down that road. Do you want the breaking news, Rich?
Yeah, let's go. Breaking news. Here we go. Breaking news.
I can't do it anymore because this fucking mic doesn't play my.
I can always play it if you ever need it. Let me know. I can do that.
The thing about it though is part of the idea is to catch you off guard.
The charm, right? So if you tell me,
to be catching you off guard,
right. I guess you could tell me hit the breaking news. I could have it ready to go, and you could say hit the breaking news audio. But that's fine. Go ahead. What do you got?
It's. We'll give it a shot.
Okay. I don't even remember what's your breaking. I don't even remember the breaking news audio.
It's playing right now.
Can't hear it.
You can't be serious.
I can't hear it. Nope, nothing.
I'm holding it up against the fucking
I can't hear it. No dope chat room chime in when you get to it. I'm telling you, I can't hear it. Not even the faintest. Not even the faintest sound of music.
How is that possible?
It's a great mic. It's a great mic.
But how does the mic know the difference in the sound? How do they know my mouth isn't making that sound? How does the mic know?
Good mic. Smart mic. AI. It's probably AI.
Yeah, but what if I was like Michael Winslow and I could make incredible sounds with my mouth like that? How does the mic not know that? Andrew Rich is the only person who's going to pop for that reference, by the way. How does the mic not know that I wasn't singing that little breaking news audio song?
I think people know Police Academy. You act like no. I mean, I know. Yeah. Anyway.
You think half of the dopey
none of these dopes. They don't know who the Beatles are, for God's sake. So
have any idea who Michael Winslow is? Give me a break. Anyway, here's your breaking news. Announced for the ROH pay-per-view: Vikingo versus Commander. Vikingo versus Commander.
All right.
I think that'll draw some money.
Fucking match, yeah.
That's gonna draw some money, I think.
For the mega title.
I don't know.
Okay.
The chat room will tell you.
Great breaking news.
They all watch Ring of Honor.
Great breaking news audio here.
I have another match for you.
All right, what do you got?
the reach for the sky, boy. Ladder match. You want the participants?
I love the participants. Yeah, who we got?
The Kingdom. Aussie Open. Top Flight. Roosh and Dralistico. And the Lucha Brothers. So there you go.
Ooh, okay.
5 teams.
That's a lot of flying. That's a fucking hell of a show, man. Good Lord.
A lot of bodies flying around.
Blowing. I think we got our winner for the Hitchcock. I mean, the Hitchcock show is great too, but god damn, that might be the show of the weekend right there. Holy crap.
The Vikingo Commander match is in fact for the AAA Mega title.
Okay, the very prestigious AAA Mega title, of course.
Very prestigious, which was not on the line last night at Dynamite. A match that I already talked about behind the paywall on the Thursday Dynamite review. And Rich, people want to know what you thought of the Vikingo Kenny Omega match. So this is as good a time as any for you to discuss that.
Yep.
So the floor is yours.
Let's do it. Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was just absolutely fantastic. And you talked about it on your the Thursday Dynamite review, flagshippatreon.com, by the way, $5 tier. That I kind of agree with you as well that I came in with very high expectations of how the match was going to appear and how it was going to look. And I've seen Vikingo many times. I've seen him live. I've seen Kenny Omega many times. I've seen Kenny Omega live. Like, these are two of the all-time great, like, wrestlers. In terms of high flying and in terms of how they put together matches and the spectacular stuff that they can do. Two of the best going right now, for sure. Kenny Omega, probably one of the best all time. Vikingo, he's going to have a couple years to get there, but he's definitely on that trajectory. But even with that said, I was still a little bit blown away by what they were able to do, how smooth it was all able to be laid out, how they just built and built and built and built. And I think the thing that I was most surprised about is how Vikingo came out and immediately was over like hell. Like they did the thing that all the dopes and all the corn cobs were saying they couldn't do, is just say, hey, this guy's really fucking good and he's going to wrestle on Wednesday. And trust us when we call it a dream match, this guy's really fucking good. And if you don't know who he is, you're going to find out because the guy's really fucking good. And if you do know who he is, you know that he's really fucking good. So just come and watch it on Wednesday on Dynamite. And that crowd was like, all right, this guy looks, and he came out and he looked like $1 million. He had the helmet. He looked good. He had all those sort of things. And he also held a title. And I made this point in our Discord, and I'll make it here as well. For people that don't know who this guy is or don't know anything about AAA and just know, hey, here's a spectacular wrestler or whatever, they built this guy up like, hey, this guy's awesome, this guy's great, Excalibur is running through his credentials, and then the guy comes out with a big, giant belt. And that might not mean a lot to a bunch of people, but I know when I was a kid and I was watching wrestlers that I'd never seen before, if they came out with a big, giant gold belt, I said, wow, that guy's a champion. That guy must be really good if he's a champion. Now, again, you don't need to know the history of the AAA, that AAA does not give a shit about their titles, that the Mega title doesn't matter that much. It doesn't really matter, because what they told you is when he came out, they said Kenny Omega used to hold that title. If that title looks familiar to you, that's because that's the title that Kenny Omega used to come out with, and that was one of the big time title matches with. And they made that title important in that moment, and they made Vikingo important in that moment too, because he comes out, he looks like $1 million, he's got good music, he holds a title, he doesn't look like a geek, he doesn't look like a dork, he looks like a star. And then the bell rings, and the bell doesn't even ring. Kenny Omega, and I love that. I thought that was masterful about it too. Kenny Omega's coming down to the ring, and you instantly just say, you know what, fuck it, let's go right to 10. And Vikingo dives out of the ring and takes Kenny out as he's making his way to the ring. And from that point, for the next 17 minutes, they just fucking went to town, and the crowd went nuts. Everything went wild. And then, coming back and seeing today, the ratings for it, it was like that even blew away my expectations, because I did sort of buy into a little bit of you know what? Yeah, I don't know if a bunch of people are going to really start watching this match or checking out Dynamite because of Vikingo if they don't know who he is yet. Even I was too pessimistic about it, because it did incredible ratings, because they said, hey, one of the all-time great wrestlers ever is going to face one of the best wrestlers in the world right now on Dynamite on free TV. Come and watch it. And people did. People in droves said, you know what? I'm going to watch that. So more power to him. The match delivered big. Vikingo is absolutely fucking incredible. Kenny, I don't know if Kenny's getting enough credit for this match too. Kenny is so goddamn good at every aspect of pro wrestling. Anytime Vikingo did a move to him, Kenny made sure that when he sold, he flew back 10 feet. He flew back 15 feet. He did a double flip. He did a double. He made sure that all of Vikingo's offense looked like $1,000,000. Like he just made it look so good. And Vikingo just had to do crazy stuff. And yeah, Kenny doesn't have to do that. Kenny doesn't have to go out on a Dynamite and make sure that some guy who just, appeared on the show and for all we know might never appear, even though we know he's probably going to appear again or whatever. But at that moment, we don't know if Vikingo is going to be a regular on AEW Dynamite. Like Kenny Omega can just say, you know what? Yeah, you do your 6:30 and do this and do that. And then, yeah, I'll hit the V trigger in the one ring and we'll call it a day or whatever. No, he goes out there and busts his ass to have a really, really good back and forth 17-minute match to make that guy look like $1,000,000 and make the crowd say, whoa, hold on, this guy's really damn good, and he might actually beat Kenny Omega. And we had a few really, really close 2.9 spots in that match as well. That popped me too, where I was like, holy shit, Vikingo's gonna win this match. I can't believe this. And of course, when Kenny did win it, it was like, yeah, all right, that's the best way to end this match. That's how it should go. But Kenny is so good that he did have me buying in that he is so unselfish that he's like, fuck it, Vikingo, beat me. Make yourself a star in one night. But regardless of beating him or not, Vikingo made himself a star. So it was great. It was just absolutely great. And now you have, if they ever do a rematch, Vikingo can get a win back or whatever, they can do this match 100 more times, and it's going to be great every single time. So just awesome stuff. Just great stuff there. I hated it, though. I went 4.5 stars. So clearly I did not like it, despite the last 5 minutes where I just talked about how great it was. But yeah, it was really good. I think these guys probably have a better match in them. But yeah, it blew away all my expectations in terms of how it delivered in ring, how the crowd reacted to it, and then of course how the ratings came in. So across the board, I was just blown away by everything.
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't have gone any better for Vikingo. His performance was,
he didn't mess anything up either. That was the one worry I had. Is like, all right, I love Vikingo, but I've seen him slip on ropes or so often, or I've seen him do a dive and it doesn't quite work out because he does insane shit that shouldn't work. Like he destroys physics. Like the stuff he does, he hit everything perfectly.
Yeah, and with the nature of the tribalism, people were just licking their chops for him to stink, and he was incredible. And I feel, and it's been a struggle to get him, on this show, and it's been a struggle to put this match together with Kenny Omega. And I really feel good for him as a person that he was really able to nail his performance so spectacular. I mean, he looked great. And let's not leave Kenny out of this. What a tremendous base that he was in this match. And everywhere he was supposed to be, everything Vikingo did was safe, yet looked incredible. Kenny was out. And like you said, Kenny did everything in his power to make sure that the guy got over and got all his shit in and looked spectacular in doing so.
Dropping himself on his neck too, man. They do that Hurricane Rana and Kenny just lands right on his fucking head, and it's like, god
that
damn.
That spot you're talking about with the backward, like the poison Rana off, like the backward, I can't even describe it. Where he comes, we're both talking about the same spot, but I mean, Kenny's positioning there is so key too. Where Vikingo's coming backwards off the middle turnbuckle and landing on Kenny's shoulders, and then right into the poison. I mean, it's just, man, it was just incredible. And Kenny deserves a ton of credit. Vikingo, good for him. He's going to crush it with Commander. And the one thing I was looking to see how he came across on big time Major League Television. And I knew that as a smaller guy, his size was going to be something he'd have to overcome with his charisma and his performance. And he did. Okay. Because I don't think anybody was watching this match by the end and thinking, man, that guy's really small. They were thinking, man, that guy's really spectacular.
Right.
And I just saw someone do things that no one has ever done in pro wrestling before, especially if you've never seen him before. And Rich, we've seen him a million times. He did some things in this match I've never seen him
That's
do.
When I say that I was blown away. I was blown away because I was like, all right, we're going to get all the Vikingo hits or whatever. And those hits are incredible, by the way. I just saw him live at Dreamwave a couple of weeks ago. And that's a room where he entered, and there's probably, 200 people in that room, 300 people in that room. He came out, nobody knew who he was. Me, the Swink, and like 3 other people were like clapping. You know what I mean? Like nobody knew who Vikingo was at all. And then when the Swink, he was there. The Swink was there. I didn't meat him though. I wasn't with him though. So
that's my Newman. He's my Newman.
He is your Newman.
Let me do my bit.
Swink. But then when the match is over, the entire play, they're just jumping up and down. They're screaming for this guy. And I was like, that dude just owned this room in 10 minutes, came out there and owned this room, got, please come back, Vikingo, Vikingo, Vikingo. And then like intermission happened and people were like running downstairs to see if they could get shirts or merch or whatever. He didn't have any merch. He didn't even come. I don't even think he was down there at intermission or whatever. But like he had just grabbed that entire audience right there. And so like I've seen, and then like, again, I've seen a bunch of matches that he's had, and even then on this Dynamite, he busted out stuff that I've never, ever, ever, ever seen before. Probably because he's in there with a guy who's as good as Kenny Omega is, that can do all that stuff as well. And Kenny's saying, "Hey, no, fuck him, man. Do everything you can do. Let's what do you think your body can do? Let's do it, because let's make you a star on this night." But that's where I say that is where it really stood out to me. That is where it really was like, holy crap, this guy is even better. This even blew away my expectations, and I had very high expectations.
Yeah, and the whole dream match stuff, I mean, we all knew it was going to deliver in the ring. I mean, we knew that. And, it was obviously not misclassified at all as a dream match by Tony Khan, because it was a dream match for a large segment of the hardcore fan base. And I think there's nothing wrong with labeling it as such, because it's a dream match to people like us and the people listening to our show. And then it makes everybody else take notice who might not know who he is. They might go, "Oh, wait a minute. Why are they calling this a dream match?" Right? And then it makes those people pay attention. And I think all of us give way too much oxygen to the dumbest among us.
God, yes, we do. God, yes, we do.
And we just gave them, and it's hard. I understand it's hard. I get it. Okay. But now there's no counter argument to the classification of this as a dream match from any point of view, because then the match drew. It bucked all quarter-hour trends that Dynamite had seen over the last few weeks. The last few Dynamites had dropped like a stone in the second hour, in particular the back end of the second hour. And as we know, all these wrestling shows die in the second hour, and in the case of Raw, the third hour. They all drop. Maybe die is not the right word. But Dynamite had been dying in the second hour, and particularly those last two quarter hours in recent weeks. And not only did that not happen last night, the show grew. It grew when this match hit the ring. And I'm dying to see the minute by minutes. And, and this match was not only incredible in the ring and delivered just like we thought it would, and lived up to the hype as a dream match from that point of view, but it also popped the number. And was the number one key contributing factor to why the show did a .33 this week. Coming off a week where they were going up against March Madness games, you knew they were going to bounce back to some extent, but this was more than I thought it would do. And I wasn't sure the match would draw, but it did.
Especially being in that spot. Like, I kind of wondered, they're going to start the show off with this. And that was a little bit of an inch. I had that in the back of my mind of like, oh, man, I wonder if they're going to just start the show off with this. Like, it might be because once you get to the back of the show, like you said, it's just the way the trend goes is like people just get tired, they go to bed, they, whatever. And we've seen that time and time again, or we've seen it a lot recently, unless they put a big thing in that second hour, like it just kind of drops off. But yeah, it carried and it had momentum. So it's awesome.
And they might have something with this guy. We'll see. And that's why I say I think putting him on the ROH pay-per-view is such a good move, right? Because, it looks like I was wrong. I thought when these ROH pay-per-views rolled around that we'd see more of an ROH presence on the TV, because how the fuck else are you supposed to sell them? We really haven't. I haven't seen anything. But Tony was sneaky. He knew he was going to put this guy in the pay-per-view against Commander. So who do you have on TV to last? Like, he features Commander on the pay-per-view, and he features, Vikingo in this match here against Kenny. And then, he blasts out that these two spectacular athletes that you just saw, who do things that no one else can do, will be facing each other on the ROH pay-per-view. So it's kind of a backdoor way to promote your pay-per-view. And then, as we'll see next week if there's, what is the exact date? I guess it's next weekend. So they have
Supercard of Honor is on the 31st.
Everything's next weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friday the 31st.
they've got another week of TV to see if they, what else they do, because they really haven't done much of anything. I mean, it's been all Twitter and these little sneaky ways of, but what I'm trying to say is I do think that match is going to draw some buys. Do I think it's going to draw a substantial amount of difference-making buys? No, but do I think that there are some people who watched Vikingo last night and remember Commander from the pay-per-view, and they're like, shit, I'd love to see those guys. Yeah, and do I think that there's a segment of the hardcore fan base, the people that listen to us, who may not have bought the Ring of Honor pay-per-view otherwise, who are like, oh, no, I have to see that. Yeah, I do. I do think there's people.
Oh, for sure. Especially on such a busy weekend. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, the Supercard of Honor is probably on its own little time, but yeah, like now it's a must-see show for even hardcore wrestling fans. Like it's you're not going to miss that thing. You're going to miss Vikingo and Commander. Let me
tell you something. With Davey Richards canceled and Will Ospreay injured, this is the match of WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This is it. This is the match you circle. This is the best on paper match WrestleMania weekend is Vikingo versus Commander at Supercard of Honor. This is it. Because Will Ospreay, Mike Bailey is out. Davey Richards, Jon Moxley is out. I mean, WrestleMania weekend.
Kota Ibushi and Mike Bailey that a lot of people said that's on Bloodsport too. So it's like, I don't know. I mean, it might be great, but it might also not be great. It's on Bloodsport.
Yeah, look, I'm not saying there's no other attractive matches, right? Like what I'm saying is now this is clearly the highlight match.
It's circled right now as like, okay, this has a very, very good chance to be the match of the weekend.
As Dan Greenspan points out, Commander was on Dynamite. I got confused because they did the Sonic Ring match on Dynamite.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So they had both guys in front of 1 million people.
On their main TV, yeah.
Which is, again, my point is the same, except now it's strengthened because I forgot. I associated that match with the pay-per-view because it was for the dopey Sonic Ring. But yeah, but to me, this is the match of the weekend now. It has to be. I mean, there's nothing else there. I mean, this was a bad WrestleMania weekend to begin with, and it got significantly worse when 2 of the best wrestlers have now been taken off of it. And for those that like to do clips and transcripts, no, I'm not saying that, yes, Davey Richards deserves to be off the weekend, just to be clear. I know our listeners know that I think that, but Rich, I have to say that. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not arguing that Davey should be wrestling.
Right.
But the point is, 2 of the key performers, 2 of the of the superstar performers of the weekend, Will Ospreay and Davey Richards, are now off what was already a very rough looking weekend. Let's be honest. Doesn't look great.
Does not look great. Yeah, we'll be doing a lot of preview content next week. We'll talk about it on the flagship, and then also on the Main Voice Wrestling podcast feed, you'll have our annual WrestleMania weekend preview shows. And yeah, by and large, not great. It's not great. There is some gems here and there, but there's a lot of muck. There is a lot of muck, and I thought we would kind of reduce the muck over the years, and the muck is only gained in power because you got to really sift through stuff. But yeah, Supercard of Honor sticks out like a sore thumb right now in terms of just like, and it largely did last year.
That's going to be the best show.
It largely did last year, and it's going to be very clearly to me right now the top show. Certainly of Friday, probably of the entire weekend. I mean, the Impact.
Hey, look, it's going to be the best Impact show.
Yeah,
we're going to watch them all. I mean, don't get me wrong, but we're going to sit down and watch those fucking Game Changer shows. We're going to sit down and watch all those little 1 hour Circle 6 shows.
No,
I don't know what the hell that
Who's
is.
we? You got a mouse in your pocket? I ain't watching those things. Are you fucking kidding me? Get out of here.
Listen, I watched everything last year. I'm going to do it again. We'll figure it. Me and you have to figure it out.
Yes, we have a plan in place. So you are going to get audio content during WrestleMania weekend. We promise you that.
So last year I did the audio roll-ups each night of WrestleMania weekend, right? Wednesday through Sunday I did audio to wrap up each day. I reviewed all the shows from each day and then talked about the news and all of that. We're going to do something similar. We just haven't figured out exactly what the battle plan is. There may be some live instant reactions in the mix for some of these shows.
Right.
But
ROH might be one of them.
Correct. But you're going to get WrestleMania weekend content every night of I think that's safe to say.
Yes, every night, kind of
content.
Some of it featuring both of us, maybe some of it only one of us, but we're going to have you covered. We're going to have you covered.
Yes. So I would suggest getting on the $10 tier, because if we're going to do live shows, and those will be on the $10 tier. And if you're on the $10 tier, that will cover any of the recorded $5 shows that we do, because we'll probably do a mix of both. But just like last year, there will be content every day. So we're going to consume this stuff. Rich, I'm going to try to watch these 1 hour Circle 6
okay,
shows.
all right. I will watch our good friend Vinny Massaro's Pro Wrestling Combine from Circle 6.
Yeah.
You can Circle 6 Mama Cougars or Mama Kogar's Delicate Flowers. That's all you, baby. All right. Hoodfoots, crosses, and caskets. That's all you, baby. All right.
Doesn't AJ Gray have one too?
AJ Gray's got one. He's got the Power Hour. AJ Gray's Power Hour at 2 p.m. on Friday. Darn, I'll be working. I can't. Yeah, I'd love to watch that one, but I'll be working, so I'm not gonna be able to do that. Yeah. Circle 6. There's even more ridiculous one. Thursday on 3 p.m. Pacific time. Lindsay Snow's Kaiju Cannabis Cup.
All right, can I skip
That's
that
all
one?
you. That's all you, pal. You got it. You said you wanted to watch them. There you go. That's all you.
Well, it's only an hour, right?
I guess.
And it's free. Allegedly.
Hopefully.
Figure it out. All right, so what else we got with this AEW? I guess the Forbidden Door presale.
Yeah, which seems like that happened like 9 months ago, but that was only earlier this week. Any worry about how AEW would draw going back to Canada, or Forbidden Door would have enough demand as the first show? And we've seen New Japan and AEW. We're going to really want to watch them again. And for sure. Dave Meltzer reported first day pre-sales generated over $1 million in Canadian dollars. There's about 730,000 in US, so just under $1 million US dollars, but $1 million in Canadian dollars. WrestleTix reports that over 12,030 tickets were distributed already, with the arena currently set up for 13,600, and general ticket sales are going to start tomorrow. So the time we're recording this on Thursday, tomorrow general tickets are going to go on sale. Notable for context, WWE ran this arena in August of 2022 for an episode of Raw, and they drew 14,169. So you could definitely open this thing up a little bit more if they'd like, but very similar to probably last year's Forbidden Door. Sell the things that you can now, and then if you're going to try to reduce the stage or whatever, which I would, why not? Go for it. Reduce the fucking stage. If you don't sell them, you'll figure it out. But reduce the stage, see how much you can get in there, because that's big 1 day ticket sales right out of the gates already. 12,000 of the arena set up for 13,000 is pretty damn good right out of the gates for Forbidden Door.
Listen, I think Tony is way too conservative with Forbidden Door. I would have tried to run a stadium. I'm not saying you run SoFi in LA with 100,000 seats, but something the size of Arthur Ashe, or maybe a little larger. And if you have a few empties, you live with it. You know, I think I'd rather do the WWE strategy of let's run a building that might be a little too big for us, but sell as many tickets as possible, because I think you could do that with Forbidden Door. And as great as the show was last year, you knew people were going to want to go to it this year. Plus it's in Canada, which is this is a pretty fresh market for them, and it's not a place they've been to a million times. Man, I would have.
It's a good market for both companies too. I should point. I think it's a good market for AEW and a very good market for New Japan as well.
Yeah, and they're going to sell all 13.6, and I think they would have sold more if they were in a slightly bigger building. And I think the show is going to be great. It's going to be better than last year because they're going to have more people available, so you're going to have bigger names on it. And if the show is great again, I'm going to repeat what I said a year ago. Forbidden Door has the best chance to be the flagship / tentpole show of this company, which they are lacking. They're WrestleMania. They're Bound for Glory. They're Wrestle Kingdom. Okay? It's going to be Forbidden Door, because it's the only one of the 5 that feels special. All Out doesn't feel any different than Double or Nothing, and those 2 shows don't really feel any more different than Full Gear or Revolution. And I think the idea was for maybe All Out or Double or Nothing to become, you know, the one you build towards, right? But it just hasn't worked out that way, and we're almost half a decade in. It's not going to happen. It can happen with Forbidden Door, because the only one that feels different and feels special. So start treating it as such, right? And you can make this something truly. This can be your big yearly event. And if the counter argument is, all right, well, you might not have a partnership with New Japan forever, then what? Who gives a shit? Once it's established, it's established. Then you're off and running. You know, once you establish something as your biggest show of the year, where all the big angles culminate and everything else, and you're gonna have your then it doesn't. Then the name does not matter anymore. WrestleMania is a stupid name. The name is irrelevant at that point. Then it doesn't matter. But I just think he's too conservative with it. I think he could have sold more tickets.
Yeah, I think he's afraid to put that on sale and sell, 18,000 tickets or whatever to a 40,000 seat arena or whatever, 30,000 seat arena, and having to, really, really have to drag and scratch and claw to get that thing as filled as you can. And I get it, but I'm also, I kind of see your stance too, that it'd be nice to kind of stick your neck out and say, you know what, can we do this? Let's see if we can really do this. And this would be the event to figure that out.
The show to do it with.
Right.
Because they're almost sold out now and they haven't announced anything. When they start announcing fucking Kazuchika Okada versus whoever the fuck, I mean, then they're going to sell more tickets. You know what I mean? It's like you're selling these buildings out blind before people even know who's on the fucking thing. And they didn't really. Last year was such a disaster with all that stuff that was out of their hands that they didn't even have a lot of dream matches. They didn't have any. They have a single AEW New Japan Dream match on that show. None. And look how well it did. And look how well received it was. And look at the ticket sales this year. Nobody's saying, oh man, we got that lame lineup last year. I'm going to wait this out. No, they bought all the fucking tickets again. And they're going to buy, and then you could sell more once you start announcing the matches and people see, oh, this is what Forbidden Door can be if everyone's available. And we don't have all these injuries. And we don't have, whatever the fuck. So, I don't know. I think it's too conservative, but we'll see next year. Like, here's the thing. I'm not saying you run a 100,000 seat football stadium, but here's the other thing too. They own a NFL football stadium. So don't come at me with like the rent or how much it's going to cost to run it. I mean, they own an NFL football stadium and they own a soccer stadium. I mean, why can't you run those? And then pack as many people in. And here's the other thing. They're NFL owners. They're buddies. You get the brother discount on these other NFL stadiums if you need to. You can't tell me you can't cut a deal with one of these owners. Get in there on the cheap. But even if you can't, you own your own. You own two buildings. I don't know. It's too conservative. But, it's already massively successful. And it's going to do a good number once, pay-per-view number. Once people see how great the lineup is. I mean, it's impossible for this year's lineup to not look better on paper than last year's.
I was going to say, barring like even more horrific, luck.
It'd be catastrophic.
It would be catastrophic to have as much horrible luck as they had last year in booking that show, and just. It would feel almost completely impossible, or just like this show's snake bitten. I'm on the opposite end. Let's never do the show ever again because all we're doing is hurting people and it's a disaster and it sucks and we need to. But no, that for sure seems like the way to go is book a good show. You're going to be able to book a lot more dream matches than you probably were able to book last year. The relationship is probably stronger than it was last year just because it worked out. It was successful. There's a proof of concept there. And yeah, I'm with you. Like I understand the risk of running a giant stadium, but at some point you're going to have to try it out. You know what I mean? At some point you're going to have to rip that Band-Aid out. And
you know what? It's called promoting. Every week on TV, I'd have a 30-second ad with Excalibur saying coming, whatever the fucking what's the date of this fucking thing? August?
Yeah, sometime in August or whatever, or June or whatever, July or who knows, somewhere in the summer. As I list every month in the summer, yes.
The dates are relevant. I would have Excalibur doing a 30-second ad read with highlights from last year, every single TV between now and then, saying, coming June 22nd, Forbidden Door. It's our trademark event. It's going to have dream matches up and down the card. And build it like it's something special. And bang it into people's heads. That's what promoting wrestling is. Convincing people what you want them to think. Do it. Don't treat it like the other four. because it has the potential to be bigger than the other 4. Blast that shit out for months until people are tired of fucking hearing it. This is our yearly event where everything comes together and you get the dream matches you've always been waiting for. This is the big one. Just do that. And make it happen. That's what promoting wrestling is. Because this thing is begging to explode. It really is if you look at last year and this year. And, man, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a fear of running a 25,000 or 30,000 seat building and quote-unquote only putting 20,000 people in it or 21,000 people in it, and then people talking shit, but who cares? WWE doesn't care about that shit. They ran SummerSlam in a fucking football stadium and had half of it tarped off and never moved the camera to the other side of the building. But they sold as many tickets as they humanly could. And they made everyone think that they filled up by the way that they shot it. Follow that lead by WWE. Don't put ambulances on your... don't have Hangman Page driving an ambulance.
Yeah, don't have guys pointing at signs and asking for the double or nothing moments or whatever the fuck.
Don't call 3-ways triple threat matches and don't do ripoffs of tired Attitude Era angles with Hangman driving an ambulance. That's the shit you don't want to copy from that company. What you want to copy is how they sell their tickets. So it's just a little frustrating. Listen, full disclosure. The night of that show last year, I remember telling Tony Khan to run Soldier Field next year. I said that to him. I said, run Soldier Field. I'm all fired up. I got adrenaline from how great the show was.
Yeah, pretty soon you might be able to get that for a pretty good discount too. So
I'm like, put that fucking thing in Soldier Field next year. He didn't say anything because he probably thought I was a maniac. But that was my suggestion.
Not wrong.
I think I got the old thumbs up emoji. Like,
all right, pal. Yeah, all right.
The conversation's over. That's the conversation ender when people, they slap the thumbs up on your fucking.
Yeah, I acknowledge you, but I don't want to talk anymore. Okay. Right.
That means yes. Or the thumbs up and the heart. If people slap the heart on a conversation, that's it. The conversation's over.
I'm nodding in approval, maybe, but we're done. Yeah, thank you.
I'm busy. I'm done with you. Leave me alone. That's, but, Anyway, obviously the show is already a success, but I think that I think Dave Meltzer was saying something like he's seen some prospective matches they're talking about and they look incredible. So, and I think they really want to put their best foot forward after the debacle that was last year, and with the show turning out as great as it was. I can only imagine if some of those matches that it's almost a silver lining or a blessing in disguise that they didn't get to do a lot of the matches they wanted to do last year because the show was a massive success.
Right.
Anyway.
Now you still have more in your holster. It wasn't like you unloaded everything and went, well, fuck, now what do we do next time? No, you got several more matches that you can book up and down that card.
And maybe we'd be having a different conversation where we'd be like, oh man, but they did all these great matches last year. How can they top it? But the conversation we're having now is, they're definitely gonna have a better card even, and they're gonna sell more.
For sure. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we might be saying, they should get a stadium. But yeah, go into that arena, 4 years old company or whatever, New Japan, AEW, no matches, and selling 12,000 tickets and probably selling that thing out by tomorrow. By the time most of you guys listen to this, that's still a fucking accomplishment. You know what I mean? And we said this last year with the United Center. Lop off that entranceway and sell every fucking ticket you possibly can. If WWE got to 14,000, you can get to 14,000 too. Why not? Go for it.
Yeah. I would have tried a bigger building, and I guess, we'll see. We should probably, before we move on, I know we got a lot of other stuff to cover. We should squeeze this in. There's this, and because they want us to talk about it, this Canadian show that got moved, and they're advertising it as a live television. Did you see this?
No. Yeah. What's this?
Let me see if I can grab, because there's a poster making the rounds, and I'm going to see if I can find it. I think it's a show on, is it June 8th in Canada?
July 8th, I'm seeing.
July 8th, is that what it is?
Yeah,
July
yeah,
8th.
Yeah.
But the show poster says it's a Saturday. Is July 8th a Saturday?
I believe, let me double check. I think that's correct, but let me make sure. July 8th is indeed a Saturday.
So they moved this show to a Saturday, and the show poster says live television wrestling, bell time, 6 p.m. Central. Because it's in Regina. Regina.
Is it Regina?
Manitoba.
Regina? Is it Regina? Do you know that for a fact? I don't want you to.
It's 1,000% Regina, because I obviously remember that for obvious reasons.
Right.
Because I'm a child and it rhymes with, vulva. But yeah.
Volvo. Go on.
Vulva. Yeah. Vulva. You're a fan of the vulva.
Well, yeah. Enjoy
What about
it.
the labia? You enjoy the labia? Everything, all the parts, Rich. You enjoy all those parts.
Oh, yeah. They're all great. They all come together for a fantastic experience. Yeah.
Yes. So this show is on Saturday, July 8th, and they're advertising it as a lot. Now, could this be the third in-ring show that has been bandied about in some places? Or the other theory is, well, maybe it's like a battle of the belts or something.
Oh,
like
right,
that,
right. Just trying to fill some, hey, we got a special for you in the midst of the summer or whatever. And that's always a good make good too, is to say, hey, we're running these shows in the middle of the summer when you're desperate for ratings, especially Turner, who during the week they don't have a whole lot. Once the NBA's done, Turner is desperate for live sports and desperate for ratings bumps or whatever. So of course, yeah, that seems like a great idea to say, hey, we got these shows. If you want to just occasionally throw up a Battle of the Belts, a Clash of the Champions, type of show, then yeah, makes sense.
Yeah,
probably more again, more evidence that Warner is just cannot stand this company. It's just disgusted.
Cannot wait to get them off their air.
You know what, guys? Here's another televised event. We fucking gross. We're gonna give you a third show. We'll air another thing too for you too. God, can't wait.
When is this deal over? Because we're gonna give you a fourth show,
right?
To ensure that this deal cannot come to an end fast enough. So yeah, here I found it. So let me give you the details of this show poster here. So here it is, Rich. It says Saturday, July 8th, new date and time at the Brandt Center.
Oh, the lovely Brandt Center. RE, of course,
Regina,
right? It's got to be RE. It's in Canada, right? Center with a classy RE. Okay, perfect. Love it.
They don't know how to spell up there.
A bunch of weirdos.
Regina, Saskatchewan. Bell time, 6 p.m. Central. And I did check. Saskatchewan is, in fact, Central time zone.
The good time zone, the right time zone.
Same as us. Still confuses me 14 years later when I'm trying to watch sports, but I'll get used to it someday. So tickets go on sale tomorrow for this, and it says live televised event. Very suspicious. So there's been speculation that maybe they'll do a Saturday show on one of the Turner channels, like the old 6:05 gimmick. This, of course, would air at 7 Eastern. So watch this just be a battle of the belts.
Yeah, I'm sure it's just a battle of the belts in the middle of the summer when Turner's desperate for any sort of thing on their network.
Can't you just tape that, though? I mean, do you really need to do Battle of the Belts live? Right? You can't tape it a little bit early, a couple days earlier. But I don't know the original date of the show. That's the thing.
I was told that it was, I'm looking in the note of chat room here, it was supposed to be the July 14th Rampage. July 14th Rampage, but has now been moved to July 8th and now televised event.
Because Dynamite and Rampage is the 5th in Edmonton.
Yeah.
And this was going to be Rampage on the 14th. It is now Mystery Show on Saturday, July 8th. So, interesting. I hope it's a third show.
That's fine with me. Yeah. More wrestling is fine with me. I know some people in this space are upset by more wrestling, but I like more wrestling. Especially if it's good. I like good wrestling.
I mean, if you're inside Regina, I would say that you want to get a
Jesus Christ.
You want to get a ticket to this. I mean,
sure.
You could be into something special. Either that, or you're going to get a Battle of the Belts, and you get Athena defending the ROH Women's title.
Right, Jade Cargill. Defending the TBS title or something. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. But anyway, that's that. I don't know. It's a mystery and nobody knows the answer. I certainly don't. But I hear Regina is wet year round.
Oh,
our chat room always delivers. Always delivers.
I didn't know it was a tropical. I didn't know it was tropical. I didn't know it was tropical. I thought it was,
Not when Creech is around.
Oh, wow.
I'm working stiff. I took that Rhino 10,000. I'm working.
Guess you must have gotten flashed not that long ago. We can end. I'll talk about Jake Lee on my own if you want. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right. We got like a half hour left, and we've done.
No, we got an hour. We got an hour, and that's fine. That's fine. We got plenty of time.
A little late.
We start a little late. No, let's get right into this. Let's talk New Japan stuff here. We started a little late. We got an hour left.
But first.
Oh, you're right. You're right. We have a friend to talk about today. I want to take a brief time out to let you know about our friends. Homage. Yes. What is Homage, you ask? Homage turns back the clock with shout-outs to eclectic moments and personalities in sports, music, and pop culture. From Billie Jean King to Larry Bird, Homage Clothing tells the story of triumph, individualism, and hustle, preserving the old school and creating new legacies. They have comfortable, well-designed t-shirts for all major sports leagues, MLB, NBA, NFL, college shirts, and more. This isn't like those other competitors with their awful. There's one specific competitor. I'm not going to bring them up or whatever. They sell terrible shirts with terrible designs. That's not what Homage does. No. They are selling high-quality stuff with great designs, retro content, always looks great. And for those listening to the flagship, you will love their selection of WWE and wrestling shirts, including the brand new released this week Big Van Vader shirt. Yes, Big Van Vader. It's a classic one. There's steam coming out. He looks like $1 million. That Big Van Vader shirt is going to be mine very, very soon. They're also rolling out this week and next week a WrestleMania collection as well. I know I saw one earlier today about it was a Ricky Steamboat, Randy Savage shirt. When I talk about retro, they're getting deep with the retro stuff. This isn't just generic ass basic. I mean, they're getting deep into matches, deep into the lore of the history of WWE. That stuff is all there in the WrestleMania collection and all their other retro stuff as well. So shop Homage today at voiceswrestling.com/homage. That's HOMAGE. Again, voiceswrestling.com/HOMAGE. Get deals there all the time, including right now, save 20% off on all beer, golf, and great outdoors shirts. Joe, I know 3 of your favorite things: beer, golf, and the great outdoors. Again, that's voiceswrestling.com/homage, HOMAGE, voiceswrestling.com/homage. Pay homage. There you go. All right. You want to talk some New Japan?
Sure.
Or should we make fun of Noah? What do you want to do first?
I think New Japan should go first.
Okay. New Japan can go first. That's fine. But we're going to take time. We're going to have time. We need to make fun of Noah.
Listen, we'll do New Japan. Then we'll do Noah.
Unfortunately, Jun Akiyama's All Japan Pro Wrestling might be...
Yeah, we'll do All Japan. We'll do All Japan last. Jun Akiyama's...
I'm joking, because he remade the company or whatever, and then even he realized this shit's dying. I'm out of here. Bye.
Okay, I got you. They don't all land. They're not all winners.
That's fine. That's fine.
Listen, and then we'll do the All Japan last. Now, I will say this though before we start New Japan. I would have lobbied for All Japan first before Noah because I thought that their big show was better. But this Kaito Kiyomia stuff is too
we got it. It's too juicy.
We can't be shortchanged on that topic. So we have to bump the Noah up above the All Japan, even though I thought the Noah show sucked.
Oh, it sucked. Oh boy, did it suck. That's why we got to talk about it. We got to talk about it because it sucked.
I wasn't going to accept a counter opinion. It fucking sucked. But yeah, New Japan rightfully is in the number 1 slot with the New Japan Cup final.
So here we go. SANADA defeats David Finlay, wins the New Japan Cup. He'll go on to Sakura Genesis now to face Kazuchika Okada. Obviously, the big thing with SANADA is during the course of the New Japan Cup, he left LIJ, joined the Just Four Guys, shaved his beard, shaved his hair, and now it is just 5 guys, and one of those guys is your New Japan Cup winner in SANADA. What'd you think of SANADA's transformation? And then, of course, what'd you think of the New Japan Cup final match that he had here with David Finlay? Are you ready to buy in to SANADA again?
Well, you know, Rich, this is what they call on the streets a glow up for SANADA. When he came out, when he shaved off that disgusting beard and he went back to his natural hair color, he's handsome again. Remember when this man used to be
hot.
handsome?
Yeah, he's so hot. I have an 8x10 from him. It has Wrestle 1 on it. It was when he was coming to America during his in-between thing when he was like, I'm just going to go to America. It was obviously to go to New Japan or whatever. I got an 8x10 guy. He's so fucking handsome. How do you not get an 8x10 by this guy?
Didn't the nurse want to bang him?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But then she saw him again. She saw him later in his LIJ thing. And I said, that's the guy you wanted to bang. And she goes, ugh. And I was like, see?
Oh, yeah.
She's like,
he
him?
looks like absolute shit.
Yeah, she's like, ugh, I don't want to show her this one because now he's like ruggedly handsome. I'm not showing her that. Like, because the Seiya SANADA days, he had kind of the Bama hair. You know what I mean? He was kind of like, he looked like a hot, like 21-year-old, like late teen. Like now he's like
someone
a rugged
someone who'd be in a Tiger Beat in 1987.
right, exactly. Like he is 24, but they want you to think he's 16 or whatever. He's like he plays a 16-year-old on television, even though he's like in his mid 20s or whatever. Like one of those guys. He had the hair, the bangs, all whatever. Then he did the whatever, but now he's like a ruggedly handsome adult. So I'm not showing her that SANADA because I can't compete with that. How do you compete with that with the current SANADA? You can't. He's like,
he looked like
incredible.
absolute shit in LIJ. Let's be honest. Okay, he just looked terrible. And he joins, during at the back end of the tour. I think when he won the semifinal, right, is when he joined.
Yeah, he beat Naito and then joined after. Yeah.
Right, after the Naito match. And then he leaves LIJ, which I think this is a good move for him, too.
Oh, for sure.
It freshens him up, and I liked the Finlay match. It wasn't like a great match, but I thought it was a good match. And I thought both guys performed well. The thing with David Finlay is he's capable of having good matches every time out. And I like his new look too, and I like his new push, and I like his new direction. I think he looks more like a star than ever. But there's something about his matches where he very rarely gets over the top to a great match. And I don't know what that is. It's not like it's not like he's in a company where it's hard to do. I mean, and he has had great matches before, but there's matches like this which are good and he's good, but they just don't hit that next gear. And that's going to be something that you would think that he's capable of it. But we'll see, because this New Japan Cup was very clearly designed to get both David Finlay over as a main event level guy and SANADA back into the mix as a main event level guy in a new unit where he will be the leader. You kind of feel bad for Taichi, right? But they also kind of set the stage for this because when just 4 guys formed, Taka's promo was all about, look, we're just 4 guys. There's no leader here. You know what I mean? It's like, in hindsight, we should have maybe seen something coming, even if it wasn't necessarily this. How about printing up all those just 4 guys shirts and now they got?
I was going to say, yeah. What if you were an asshole that bought one of those just 4 guys shirts and like within 2 weeks they're just 5 guys? I'd be like, man,
kind of fucked up.
Get my money back on this or what?
Look, am I super excited about SANADA versus Kazuchika Okada for the 4,979th time? No, but does it have a little new juice to it with SANADA's repackage here? Yeah, it does. I mean, I still give him 0% chance to win. Or, Rich, do you think could be like they pull the fucking trigger on him?
I think they might. I mean, think about this. Like, you rebrand this guy. he's lost to Okada a bunch of times. He's beat him a couple times too. But you know what I mean? Like, there's not a ton of juice on that meat on that bone or whatever. Okada just goes in there and he rebrands and he wins the New Japan Cup and he joins just 5 guys and he just eats a Rainmaker 1, 2, 3. All right, hit the bricks, pal. I don't know. Doesn't that kind of come across a little empty? I don't know. It's I don't know. Yeah, he's lost so many times to Okada that I don't know that he can lose again. But I guess it'll. I hate to do the cop out, but like we'll have a very, very good idea of where they see this thing is going. Like, I don't know. I don't know if they're doing the SANADA thing again. Like, are we past that for a guy who's now in his 30? You know, I think he's in mid 30. It might be 35, 36, somewhere in that range or whatever. I don't know. Are
35.
Okay, 35. So are we doing that with him? Are we going for that again? I don't know.
2019 was brutal. They wrestled 4 times.
Ugh.
Remember that?
Oh, I do. Every one of them.
And they got progressively more boring and longer as they moved along. And SANADA, because Okada beat him in the New Japan Cup final. He beat him in a title match. Then SANADA beat him in the G1, remember? And then he got another title match and came up Pro Wrestling and he lost that one. And we were just so fucking tired of that match, and they kept them apart for a while. They wrestled each other in the G1 last year, and now here we go again. But this really is typical Gato booking because SANADA has been a non-factor for a while now, and he tends to, like, you know, sometimes he does this with guys where he down cycles them a bit and then revs them up for something new and fresh, and that's what's happening here. So.
Personally, I think Okada's reign is really, really good right now, and I think whatever he's doing is great. I don't want like I know that they can do the he loses to him here and then he wins it back at Dominion or whatever. I don't want to interrupt that Okada reign right now. Honestly,
I don't either.
Not for this guy either. And yeah, did I think that match was pretty good? I did. I don't know if that I saw anything in that Finlay SANADA match that made me think that this isn't just the same SANADA with a better haircut.
You know, they're in Star Maker mode though. You know that they're Finley's getting the big push, and SANADA has been repackaged and is getting the big push. Shota Umino is getting the big push. I mean, it's not completely out of the question that they do something bold and go all the way with SANADA here and belt him up. I mean, I may have been a little hasty when I said he has 0% chance. I don't think it's out of the question.
No, I don't either. It really feels like, okay, it's a now or never. Let's finally figure out if this guy can do it. Can he? Will the crowd have a connection to him? Will it draw well? Well, this might be the final time to figure it out. Like, there's nothing more you can do here. Now, do you want to interrupt Okada's reign to do that, to test that out? I mean, it's probably worth it. They've tried stuff like that before, so I guess it wouldn't be totally out of the realm of possibility. It'd be a little shocking to the system, but then again, that's how they book a lot of times. They like to do that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you really want to just shock people into a big elevation, you did it with Evil. I mean, and I don't know if it's now or never because they just put him in charge of a unit. So I think they see him as a main eventer moving forward.
I just mean now or never in terms of like, can this guy be a consistent main eventer? Because I don't know. That's the thing with him. He's always looked the part, but he's never actually delivered on that. And this goes back to Wrestle One, Seiya Sanada. You know what I mean? Like we've been down this road for as long as this podcast has existed about, is Sanada a guy? Is he really a star? Is he? And the answer's normally been no. You know what I mean? But this might be.
He never takes it by the throat.
Yeah. And that's my worry again. Because honestly, like again, I like this New Japan Cup match, but I'm watching it and I'm thinking, all right, this guy's got all this elevation. He's in his hometown or whatever, and he's just fucking wrestling a Sanada match, man. He's rolling on the ground. He's putting guys in dragon sleepers, and I'm like, a little more. Let's go. Come on, man. Like they're putting everything behind you. They're making you win this cup. They got you in front of a unit. They have you, you shaved. You got this head. You're in your hometown. Like, let's fucking go, man. And I just don't know if I saw it.
Fresh coat of paint, same old match.
That's what I'm saying. Like that worried me. If I saw that match, I'm going to the back. And even if I thought he was going to beat Okada, I'm saying, nah, you're not. No, that's fine. This is your spot.
I wouldn't do it either.
This is your spot. You're a nice little upper mid carder. You can get title matches here and there, but you ain't holding our title.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it either. Okada really is having a great title reign. I mean, he's just doing such great work right now, and I don't know. Do you want that title off of Okada for Forbidden Door?
I really don't. I don't want that title off of him at all right now.
No, but does New Japan want it off of him before Forbidden Door?
Yeah. Maybe. Because his Dominion, let me see when Dominion is this year. I mean, you can obviously do it anytime you want. It doesn't have to be
This
at
is months
Dominion.
and months.
Right. Let me do
I don't know. Or do they not care about that? And they're just like, look, you book around us with Okada.
Right.
You know? Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But they're putting effort into new people. And they've reshuffled the deck since the beginning of the year.
I do like his new finish, though. The DDT is nice. I'll take that over the fucking boring-ass Dragon Sleeper they did. The worst, most boring-ass Dragon Sleeper in the world.
Unfortunately, he still does it.
He still does it, and he threw a Shining Wizard in here, too, because all things must go through Muda, but it's all right.
Yeah. Yeah, good match, though, not great match. I'll tell you what was a great match. Hiromu and Leo.
Yes. And this is what I'm saying. Like, compare the crowd in the Hiromu-Leo Rush match to Sanada and David Finlay. And Sanada's in his hometown, about to win the New Japan Cup with a whole new unit and all. And this crowd, and they at the end they got, but for 18 minutes of the match, they're just kind of like whatever. They didn't sit down for this match. For Hiromu and Leo Rush, 21 minutes of the crowd going nuts and these two dudes going nuts. This match fucking ruled. This was awesome.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great match. Yeah, I mean, Hiromu was having a great year.
I was gonna my notes say last year you went on record saying Hiromu was washed. Are you ready to declare him unwashed?
I don't know. Washed is a little strong.
What did you say? I think you said washed.
No, he's not the guy he was. I mean, he's I don't think he'll ever be the guy he was.
I think you said washed.
Well, nobody pulled the clip.
Don't pull the clip, but I tend to think you said he was washed, but that's fine. Not what he once was. Not what he once was.
That's a little rough. Washed. I mean, but he's definitely not what he still isn't. But I do think he's having a really good year. I really adored that Amakusa match on the joint show, and I thought this match was great. I mean, Leo Rush. No one's ever questioned his talent. No one has ever questioned his talent, and these guys meshed real well, and they went out there and had what was easily the best match on the show. What else can you say? It was a big spot for Leo Rush, and he absolutely delivered. And Hiromu continues his really good year. I mean, I think to this point, and we're getting to the end of March, so we're kind of at the quarter pole, to use a racing term, Rich, of the year, and it's not crazy to start talking about this stuff. He's firmly in the discussion for top 10. I know you and Alan did that last week, and I'm not gonna fucking steal your thunder or repeat the bit, but he's firmly in. I'd probably have him in my top 10 for the year at this point. There's too many great matches that he's had. And now this one. I love that Amakusa match. So, not the guy he was. He's not like dropping himself on his head and doing all this daredevil shit.
Yeah, he's definitely altered his game a little bit, and maybe it took a little bit of time to kind of figure out what he was going to be. But yeah, no, this if this is what he's going to be, like the quick style, and because they felt like he was getting a lot slower too. It was not only was he not like dropping himself on his head all the time, which again, you can only do that for so many years, but it just felt like he was really slowing down and really just kind of having boring matches. And he has not had boring matches this year, so he's figured out a way to kind of alter his style in some way, shape, or form, and it's been great. He has been very, very good this year so far. Very good. And Leo Rush was great in this match too. The crowd was invested in all of it. Leo had a lot of real cool. Like the story of the match is that Leo Rush could get really, really close, and anytime he just wanted to finish it off, he just could not do it. He'd get this move, he'd get that move. He even did Yo's finisher to Hiromu, and then was like, I can't pin him with your finisher. I got to do my finisher. So he gets up to the top rope, and then Hiromu moves out of the way at the last second, or whatever. Like really, really good stuff. And the crowd was just fucking electric for the entire match. I mean, that's one of those matches that was like, whoa, okay, we're fully back with this crowd's making noise and having a great time. That it's so welcomed back.
How about Robbie Eagles as the newest member of the frat boy?
Yeah. Your douchebag frat boy unit has another new member. After the match, Zack Sabre Jr. comes down and tells play the music, you dumbasses. I forget what he said. It's something about that. He was like, play this video, you dumbasses, or whatever.
No, and you dickheads.
You dickheads. And then they did. And then, Robbie Eagles showing up in the TMDK shirt. So he's leaving Chaos. Kevin Kelly does a really good bit here where right afterwards he goes, Robbie Eagles was saying how upset he was that Leo Rush kind of leaped him in the Chaos ladder to get this title match or whatever. So he took matters into his own hands. He's so good.
He's so good when it comes to this stuff. You know, who would think to do that?
Right, just in case, just to let you know, if you're wondering, hey, why did this guy change? Here's a nice, neat little one-sentence reason for why this guy may have left and joined TMDK. Boom, that's it.
And no one told him to say that. I can promise you. Okay, they're off on their little table, you know, doing what they're doing. No one's even paying attention. No one told him to do that. But he thought enough and respected the audience enough to say, hey, you know what? I got to make some sense of this. You know, because they might be doing the same on Japanese commentary. And he came up with a great explanation as to why Robbie Eagles may have been annoyed with Chaos. Now, it'd be nice if Robbie Eagles told us why he was annoyed with Chaos, but that's where Kevin Kelly steps in and does a phenomenal job.
Robbie just said, the Mighty don't kneel, and I'm Mighty, so here you go.
I'm Australian. I'm Australian.
Yeah, they're Australian. Mighty don't kneel. I'm Mighty. We're Australian. That's enough. Yeah, here you go.
Yeah. But that'll be a great match. Robbie Eagles and Hiromu.
Yeah.
And if I am not mistaken, I think that Robbie Eagles has a really good history. Let me pull that up so I don't say something that, you know, you don't want to casually get a fact wrong.
No. We'll hear about it. We'll hear about it. Don't let us hear about it.
Yeah, Eagle, man, I beat him at Wrestle Grand Slam. Remember when we all thought Hiromu was going to win the title from him? And we thought it was a given, but then Robbie Eagles beat him. And we were like, oh shit, that's a surprise. But Hiromu got him last time in the Best of the Super Juniors last year. So they've kind of gone back and forth. And I think, they'll probably have the way Hiromu's going and Robbie Eagles probably champing at the bit. They'll have a great match. Do you have thoughts on anything else? We got 2 other promotions to get to.
Yeah, honestly, the rest of the show didn't really do much for me. I don't know.
Tags.
Yeah, nothing really. I honestly, I was kind of in autopilot until the main event or the semi-main and the main. So I honestly don't have real strong thoughts about anything.
All right, so
well, I can give you a quick little. How about I do this? Quick little Sakura Genesis thing.
Yeah.
So Sumo Hall, April 8th. As the show was going on, we got breaking news with another match added to the Sakura Genesis show. All right, so breaking news from me. I don't have the audio on my phone, but breaking news. All right, so you have
I have audio. Yeah,
nobody can hear it though. No, but only you can hear it. So there's no point.
I got the audio. Hold on, I got the audio.
Feel free. Go ahead.
Here we go. Maybe they'll hear it this time.
No, this time it'll work. Yeah, this time it'll definitely work.
Well, listen, this fucking microphone, it doesn't make any goddamn sense that it wouldn't know that the I can't even find it. Never mind. I can't even find it. This is a disaster.
All right, here we go. Okada and SANADA, you knew about that one. IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. That match was already set. Hiromu Takahashi and Robbie Eagles. We talked about that. IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. That'll be on the line at Sakura Genesis. Also, the tag team titles. Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi defending against Aussie Open. Bishamon versus Aussie Open. Can't wait for that. New Japan World TV title. Zack Sabre Jr. defending the title against Shota Umino. There's also some other tag matches, but you don't care about that because the breaking news that was on this show is that Mane is back in Japan. She's going to be facing Azumi for the IWGP Women's title.
All right.
Mane. Sumo Hall is Mane. There you go.
Saving her for the big shows, and this is a big show. So now we'll see. Now are they going to put this on Fight, you think, because of Monet?
That's going to be a very interesting question. I don't know. Oh, hold on a minute. Do we have more? We have double breaking news, I think.
Oh!
Confirm this No Dopes chat room because I'm seeing a 3-way match here now listed. It's okay. Andrew Rich declares it. New update. Mane versus Hazuki versus Azumi. 3-way for the IWGP Women's title. Now I'm less excited about it, but
I don't know who the hell these people are anyway. So
is Mane losing the title and doesn't want to do the JOB? Let's now wildly speculate that.
Isn't it AZM?
Yes, it's spelled AZM, but it's Azumi. Don't ask me. Ask the Joshi people. I don't know.
All right.
I just work here. There you go.
Well, I'm not a fan of 3-ways unless I'm in Regina. So I obviously think, without knowing anything about the other two, that this is a downgrade from that standpoint. But I'm more interested to know if they're going to put this on Fight or if they're going to try to get these crazy Sasha Banks fans to purchase a New Japan World sub.
Yeah, I think it's about time they get a New Japan World sub, right?
Well, they make more money on Fight, right? It's only...
That's true.
Like, New Japan World's only like $8 right now. So, they may have beaten us in the World Baseball Classic, but the dollar is strong, baby.
The dollar is strong, yes.
So...
I did know when I was doing my taxes, I noted that, I was paying a lot. I was like, oh, man. Like, at 1 month was like... New Japan World was like $7.14 or whatever. I was like, ooh, yikes, all right.
Listen... We can't hit Otani's slider, but the dollar is owning you. Oh, you did the taxes, huh?
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you about that later. Yeah.
You're.
Don't tell me. Yeah.
I'm doing them next week. So
yeah, you're about to ruin my world. Yeah, I can't wait.
I'm gonna prepare to have a terrible weekend, Rich, because I'm doing them. Oh no, that's WrestleMania weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, don't wait that weekend. Well, you're running out of weekends. See what? Oh man, I don't know. Shit.
Nah, I'm all right. April 15th, right?
Tax day? Yeah. I don't know. I'm a goober. I'm a goober. You know me. I do it like 2 months in advance. I'm like Ned Flanders doing it like the day after. April 18th. Yeah, Ned Flanders does his like New Year's Day or whatever. He submitted his taxes. You got till April 18th, Joe. April 18th. Tuesday, April 18th.
Well, I'm going to ruin for you 2 weekends from now.
Good. Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Is what's going to happen when we do the books. And I'm like, Rich, we owe $45,000. Then you're gonna be like, thanks, Joe. Thanks. You're gonna do the yearly. All right, I'm gonna go have the talk with the nurse, and and I'm gonna be giving you the yearly pep talk. No, this is what you tell her. No, listen, there's a way to spin this. So settle in for that. But no, not a fan of the three-way, even though I don't know who any of these women are.
Yeah. So. Well, are you ready to wildly speculate that Monet is dropping the title and they don't want her to do a straight job, so they're doing the three-way instead? Interesting, huh?
Dropping it that fast?
I don't know.
How many dates does she have? She's got to have she has at least one more date.
Yeah.
She has at least 3. I have to check my notes. Which I'm not going to do right now because I don't have my notes. But, I mean, I don't think this is it for her. So, I don't know.
I don't either.
They'll give the match some intrigue. But
and then
maybe she wants to stack them up like Roman Reigns and pin them both in the center of the ring.
Grab all these dorks and stack them up.
Would the Stardom fans be irate at that, or would they...
Ooh, the Stardom fans would be. The Sasha stands would love it, and they might just battle each other in it's just 13-year-olds on Twitter yelling at each other for all eternity, and just the whole world explodes. Yeah.
Who wins a battle between the Sasha stans and the incredibly annoying and vicious and nasty Joshi fans? Who wins that?
I think that's a battle for the ages.
It's a different kind of nasty.
Oh yeah, I think the Joshi fans have a different kind of nasty. And they tend to be a little bit older, so I think that they'll strike deep on the Sasha stans.
They're not much older.
They're not much older, but they're older enough. They're wiser in years. They're relentless. They're relentless, man. You should see,
too, yeah.
Dude. We Jumping Bomb Audio on the Voice Wrestling Podcast Network. Their comment section everywhere, whether it's on YouTube, it's a fucking massacre, man. And if you see those are the ones I approve. I don't approve half of them because they're just like like vicious. I'm like, man, it's a podcast. Just don't listen. You don't have to listen if you're that upset, man. You just have to go away. I mean, yeah, they're rough.
Yeah, that's a. I don't. I keep being tempted to pick one side, and then I'm like, but have I considered? You know what I mean? Like it's tricky. I don't know.
I think the Joshi fans do it. The Sasha stans will move on to something else. You know what I mean? They'll figure out something. But
Joshi stans are slightly more intellectual in their attacks.
Yes, I think they're going to cut deeper with the stuff.
Where the Sasha stans are more whatever the current hot burns are.
Right, or just like cry face emojis or whatever. But like you're going to get
cry face emojis.
Yeah,
gifts.
like that's going to get boring pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah. That, yeah.
Yeah,
I would like
don't
to
fuck
see
with
that
those Joshi.
battle.
Nah, man, they're relentless, man. They never stop.
And they remember.
Oh, they do.
Like, they're still saying shit about me from things I said in like 2013.
Yes.
Like, they don't forget anything, you know, because they're a derivative of the Deep Puro.
Yes.
Subset.
Yeah, you are not allowed, for the record, you, me, and all of us at Voices of Wrestling, not allowed to be posted on the Reddit Joshi section.
Right.
Because they hate us so much. Because of, I don't know.
You want me to read it verbatim?
No.
I could read it verbatim.
Do you have it?
Yeah, hold
Yeah,
on.
go ahead. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, I like it. Go ahead. Dorks.
Let me think this up.
Fucking dorks.
And by the way, I don't care because I once went to a Reddit mod and specifically said, go to whoever your boss is and say, I want Voices of Wrestling banned from Reddit. I hate all of you and I don't want my content there. And I don't let us post and don't ever talk about us.
Yes.
Can we make that deal? Just because I don't give a shit. Like, leave us out of your dumb mouths and we won't try to post anything. All right, so here's what they said. The review was removed due to the very low reputation Voices of Wrestling has throughout the Joshi fan community and really the Japanese pro wrestling fan community at large. That's why they wouldn't let us post.
Yeah, okay.
Someone who wrote a review wanted to post their review.
You're right.
And,
Didn't know that our reputation speaks for ourselves on the Reddit. So,
which, I mean, I'm actually happy about that. I really don't want anything to do with Reddit.
Yeah, I agree.
I really don't.
Yeah, we should
But
let people know.
how-
But I get it. They're like, get some extra eyeballs on it or what. I get it. I get how a normal human would think. I'll go to Reddit and post it. But no.
Very low reputation in the Japanese pro wrestling fan community. I love that shit. Who has done more for New Japan in the last 10 years on the English side than you and I? Who?
Yeah.
Name them.
Not a whole lot of other.
Name them!
Not a lot of other books going out about New Japan Pro Wrestling. But yeah, all right.
Nobody. Half the people on Reddit are watching New Japan because of me. Let's be honest. But I don't want to be on Reddit. This is good news.
They're the worst. They're the absolute dirt worst. So good. I'm glad.
But it's hilarious. We've been pushing for years.
Yeah, thank you.
Time we got banned.
Thank you. Piss babies. But anyway, let's
fucking children. Now I'm gonna do a CM Punk promo on.
Right, I work with fucking children.
Munching on a muffin.
I know none of them could manage it. I know none of them could manage a target either. That's for sure. But
no.
All right.
Well, I'm gonna leave. I had some jokes, but
yeah.
You know how people are with joke, Rich. So
they don't. Yeah, people don't like jokes. Jokes are bad.
No one has a sense of humor. Yeah, jokes are terrible.
Do you want to get in more trouble with the Deep Pro community?
Fuck yeah,
Let's fucking do it. Noah Voyage 2023 in Yokohama. Yes. Main event of this show is a GHC heavyweight title match. Jake Lee of Good-Looking Guys, who added two more not that good-looking guys to Good-Looking Guys. I'm now convinced Good-Looking Guys is an inside joke because there's really only one good-looking guy in Good-Looking Guys, right? Jack Morris, objectively good-looking guy, right?
Sure.
You are in between. I'm in between on Anthony Green. You think the retrosexual is a good-looking guy, right?
I don't know. My argument on the retrosexual is his gimmick is that he's a good-looking guy.
Okay.
So I don't have a problem with him being in the good-looking guys.
Fair.
Okay. If like let me think of a good one. If Loverboy Dennis Condrey, who is clearly not a good-looking guy.
No.
But if that's his gimmick, like he can be in the group. You see what I'm saying?
I got it. The wink, like I'm a good-looking guy, yeah, type of thing. Okay, I got it.
I mean, you couldn't be less good-looking than Dennis Condrey.
No, Dennis Condrey is one of the least good-looking humans on earth, but you know, but it's disgusting, man. Anyway, Jake Lee, I'm on record of not a good-looking guy. You said, I think one time you said you could see it, but you wouldn't consider him a good-looking guy.
Imagine Dennis Condrey all up in your Regina. Imagine that. God, on top of you.
It's just smelly and sweaty and just hair. There's just all hair everywhere. You know what I mean? Like
reeks of Winston cigarettes. Just,
right.
and Winston cigarettes and whiskey.
But like the cheapest whiskey possible. You just smell it on him. Yeah.
Old smuggler whiskey and Winston cigarettes. that combination. Absolutely. And sweat. Like blue collar sweat. That's the combination. Climbing up that, climbing all over you.
Yeah, you're Regina.
Yeah, so anyway, no, I don't think Jake Lee is a good-looking guy, no.
Okay. Well, throughout this the terrible, terrible Noah show, they added 2 new members to good-looking guys. Now, one of these men I know you don't think is good-looking, and that is Yohei.
I mean...
I see it, but here's my argument with Yohei has always been, I see it. I'm not begging Yohei, but I see how some people might think Yohei is a good-looking guy.
Yeah, listen, if you vape... If you if you like people that vape, I could say, because I like Yohei definitely vapes, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely, for sure.
He's a vapor. If you like people that hang out at the vape shop with all the neon signage out front,
yours have I love that every vape shop has to have the exact same neon signage. We have like 20 in our town now, and every single one looks exactly the same.
Yeah. So, so I can accept Yohei, I guess. Okay. There's a certain kind of,
Tadasuke is also a good-looking guy. I do not think that man is a good-looking guy. His head's like it's too rectangular. Tadasuke, I will not hear an argument that he is a good-looking guy. I just won't.
No. This
he's an objectively not good-looking guy. These good-looking guys are off the rails here. You could make an argument that just 5 guys should be called good-looking guys, and the new good-looking guys should be called just 6 guys or whatever the hell they are right now.
Yeah, there's 5 of them, and there's like 1.5 good-looking guys in the group. It's so
it's rough, but this was a Noah show. But anyway, Jake Lee, we'll talk about units changing and tag teams hating on each other and breaking up immediately, because of course that happens on any. The juniors got to be breaking up, right? You can't possibly have juniors possibly staying in the same unit for more than a week at a time. So that don't worry, we'll get to that. But main event. GHC heavyweight title match, Jake Lee, Kaito Kiyomia. Now, one thing I was going to credit New Japan for with the New Japan Cup was Hiromu Takahashi and Leo Rush, 21 minutes, 27 seconds. Got in, got out, kept the crowd alive, all of it, got out under 25 minutes. Good. Love it. New Japan Cup final match, SANADA and David Finlay. Like I said, not as quick paced or whatever. In and out, under 20 minutes, 19 minutes and 56 seconds. So Noah said, are you guys done having boring, never-ending, brutal main events? Can we have that? And New Japan said, sure, guys, have at it. And they decided, good, we're going to do that when we do Jake Lee and Kaito Kiyomia for 35 minutes and 36 seconds. That I will never get back of my entire life. Joe, how brutal was this match? How bad was Jake Lee versus Kaito Kiyomia?
Man, I mean, I just thought it was an average match. It sounds like you really, really
hated it.
It picked up in intensity towards the end, and they did have the crowd into the near falls by the tail end of it, but it was a hard watch. It was long. There was nothing happening. It was super boring.
Jake Lee had 90% of the offense, which made you think, man, he's going to definitely lose here. And then he just fucking won.
And then he wins.
I was like,
and
okay.
It's, man, and I don't get it. I mean, Jake Lee was an objective failure in All Japan. I mean,
by all metrics, by in-ring, by drawing, by business, by everything, by all metrics and all measurements, a failure.
It did not work. They tried him as a heel. I mean, the same gimmick he's doing now didn't work. And you bring this guy into your company, and logic would tell you, okay, we got a former Triple Crown champion from a promotion that is viewed in a similar vein as ours, even though I think Noah's way ahead of them. Well, maybe not anymore on the business side of things. Don't say we didn't warn you. This is the booking move here is to build Jake Lee up for a match against your champion and fucking beat him. And then have my champion hold up my title and talk shit about beating a former Triple Crown champion. Am I out of my mind, Rich, or is that something logical that you might consider? Instead, we have the guy come in and jump from All Japan and beat our champion in dominating fashion over the course of 36 minutes. I don't understand it. Make it make sense.
I can't make sense of giving Jake Lee his title. It boggles my mind. It just, even if you wanted Kaito Kiyomia to lose the title to somebody, which we'll get to in a second, why maybe that could potentially be happening. Jake Lee is your guy. You go with Jake Lee, and now let's talk about the attendance, because they announced 1,308 people for Noah Voyage 2023 in Yokohama. And I have no reason to believe that they're out and out lying about that attendance. But I will tell you, these men were wrestling in a black hole. You couldn't see anything in that arena. They darkened every bit of the crowd. And when they turn the crowd lights on, there is not many people in the front row. So if all those people are up in the upper decks with the cheap seats, fine. That's great. But it did not. It looked awful when they put the crowd, when those lights were on, and when those guys hit the ring, lights off, darkness, and they are wrestling in the abyss. Not good. Aesthetically awful for Noah.
There is, first of all, 1,308 people is not a good number. Okay, that's the first thing. Second of all,
yes, Stardom's done better multiple times over the last year and a half or whatever. So in that building, especially this year, they ran it earlier this year, and they had much better attendance.
So it's not a good number. The second point is there is not a fucking chance there were 1,300 people in that building. Rich, you know this. I took photos. I have photographed. The lights were off, which is your first clue that they're full of shit.
Right. When they're wrestling in fucking a black hole, then you know, oh, geez, that can't be good.
But occasionally they would run a spotlight around the building, for effect or whatever. You should see me up there like it's the Zapruder film, pausing at key times when the spotlight is on certain seats. And you saw the photos. I sent you the photos, Rich. I took photos of different premium seats, not the upper deck, premium seats, different angles, different times of the show, because, okay, maybe 45 people all went to the bathroom in this section at once. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I'll take another picture 3 matches later. Still nobody sitting there. I took pictures during the main event, introductions, spotlight circling around. Nothing but empty seats and all the most expensive seats. And this was not COVID spacing either, because there'd be like one guy in the section and every other seat empty. Jesus, nobody bought tickets to this thing. There was nobody in that fucking building. There was not at 13. They announced 940 for the N1 Victory show last year, headlined by Kaz Fujita, who we all know can't draw a dime, and Go Shiozaki. Okay? For Great Voyage last year, they announced 905, which had the Hideki Suzuki, Takashi Sugiura versus Daike Inaba, Kaito Kiyomia tag team tournament final match as the last match to go on. And they announced under 1,000 people for that. And then we're getting into deep COVID here, but in November of 2021, they announced 887 people for a Keiji Muto tag on top with Marufuji against Kaito Kiyomia and Masa Kitamiya. Give you one guess who won that one, Rich. With Kano and Masaki Mochizuki underneath, they announced 887 people. So what they did here, Rich, and then after that, it's like COVID shit, and it's,
This is not fair. Yeah, it's not fair to use those numbers anyway.
Now we're getting deep. 1,200 people for Great Voyage 2021 with Muto in a 6-man tag semi and a tag team title match on top. Here's what happened here. They could not announce a number that was in range with these other shows that they've done in the building. So they had to fudge the number because, it's a GHC title match on top. All these other matches were tag matches on top. And then they turned the fucking lights off. There is not a prayer there were 1,300 people in that building. There just weren't. Because if there were, they were all in the upper deck.
I was going to say, maybe just all of them were in the upper deck, because anytime you saw any pictures of the premium seats, the ringside seats, the things, nothing. You couldn't see it.
And I have the pictures.
Right.
I've got a lot of them because I'm a psychopath. There was nobody in that building. And there were people on the floor seats. They sold most of those, the chairs. But that next section there's nobody there. So I think this show, there's a good chance, did worse than their last couple tries in this building. And to be completely honest, why wouldn't it have?
It's Jake
Who
Lee
the fuck is
and
paying
Kaito
for Jake
Kiyomia.
Lee?
It's Jake Lee and Kaito Kiyomia, of course. I'm not paying
It's
to watch
Jake
that.
Lee. It's Jake Lee and a guy you've beaten like a drum. We warned people about this. 1,300 is not even a good number. You want to tell me I'm a lie, that I'm wrong? All right. Well, 1,300 is not a good number either for a GHC title match.
No. And like I said, that in the same building, Stardom did it. And Andres in our note of chat room is bringing it up. I'm glad he did. An important note about that was the opening night of their trios tournament. It's not exactly a huge show. It's not like Stardom, one of their big time matches and the big time shows with big time title matches. That's just a show. You know what I mean? That's just a Stardom show in that arena, and it gets 1605.
So the rest of this show stunk.
Oh,
I am convinced. If you told me, let me frame it to you this way. If you told me that Pro Wrestling Noah was booked by throwing darts at a fucking board or rolling dice, I'd believe you. Who asked for a Taniguchi push? Why is he beating Segura?
I know. I was like, that should be a nice routine. Oh my God, Shuhei Taniguchi beat Segura. Oh boy. Okay.
Really? I mean, he's 46 years old. And look, I get it. Segura's in his 50s, but he can still go.
But Segura's Segura. It's Shuhei Taniguchi's Shuhei Taniguchi. Like, Taniguchi stinks. I mean, he had one okay run like 7 years ago, whatever it was.
I mean, I don't really want to dump on the guy, but the guy's been a failure since
he ain't it. Let's be honest. Yeah, it's not.
He's a nice little underneath veteran guy that is mildly popular with fans in that role. I don't get that. They're reshuffling all the juniors again, but what's new?
Joe, they reshuffled in a match where they won the tag team titles. These fuckers found a way to have our guy Ogawa have one of the worst matches I've ever seen Ogawa have.
Terrible match.
How
semi-main event,
was
by the
that
way.
match? How bad was that? I'm watching this thinking, what is going on? What is happening? Go home, guys. What is 25 minutes and 29 seconds? It was Eita and Ogawa versus Chris Ridgway and Hayata. I am not kidding when I say I went dud on that match. I thought it was fucking atrocious. Cage match is like 2.2 or whatever. Even Cage, I'm not being just a curmudgeon. Cage match thought it fucking sucked too. It never ended. How do you make Eita and Ogawa and Hayata and Chris Ridgway that bad of a match?
I mean, look, they didn't deliver. I can't blame the bookers because they went out there and had a shitty match, but
well, I can blame the bookers for Eita and Ogawa win the tag team titles. They're handed the titles, or they retain the titles, I should say, and then they start fighting.
It's utterly. I'm telling you,
what?
It's
you just won. You won the match. You're the champions.
How bad was that Ninja Mac tag? Did you watch that with Extreme Tiger?
Lancelot and Extreme Tiger, yeah.
Yeah, versus Ninja Mac and Amakusa. It was not. That was terrible. I guess
nothing was good. What was good on this show?
Well, I think the tag title match was pretty good, with Kano and Soya losing to Anaba and Kitamiya.
Oh, okay, yeah, that was all right.
That was all right. That's pretty good. You know what I mean? But that can't be the best match on your show. You know what I mean? And that was easily the best match on the show.
I forgot that Hideki Suzuki and Saxon Huxley teamed up to face
Yone
and Inamura.
Yeah, Muhammad Yone and Inamura. Yeah. Saxon Huxley. Did you see that? He's doing like a Brody impression, I guess, now. And he's the NXT UK guy. But did you see how puzzled Suzuki looked at this man? Like he didn't understand this man or why he was teaming with him. He's like, I lose Timothy Thatcher. You give me this guy.
It was not exactly a Timothy Thatcher replacement. A little different, but
yeah.
Saxon Huxley getting a Noah run. He's like 36 years old. Terrible.
So you beat Kiyomia like a drum.
Yep.
You bring in Jake Lee, who's never drawn a dime in his life, right? And then how do you prepare? You figure, all right, well, maybe they gave Jake Lee a string of huge. Maybe he went through Segura.
Yeah, right.
You know, maybe he went through Hideki Suzuki. Maybe he beat all these guys one-on-one. And no. Do you know how they prepared Jake Lee for this match on the Muda show, on the Muda retirement show? Jake Lee pinned Timothy Thatcher in a pre-show tag team match. That was how they warmed him up. And then they wonder why nobody bought a ticket. Look it up, people. I'm not making this up.
Well, that's not entirely fair because I'm looking at it now. In January, he beat Inamura in a singles match, January 8th. So, you know what? You got to be fair here. All right?
You know, and we said it at the time. You'd think if you're giving Jake Lee a title match, he's not working the pre-show on your biggest show of your fucking that Noah's had in decades.
Your dart theory is starting to have some legs here.
You have more people watching Noah than ever, and you put your next title challenger in a pre-show tag team match. I'm surprised he won. And then you wonder why you got to turn the house lights off.
Yeah.
There's nobody there.
You book a guy terribly who's never drawn a fucking dime. So not only is he already against the 8-ball because he can't draw and nobody ever wants to see him and nobody wanted to see him in All Japan, but then you give him your title, but the way you build him up, I don't know. I forgot it was on I forgot it was on the pre-show. That's so good.
Terrible show. And as far as the business, look, don't listen.
Don't come here.
Tried to warn you. And this is not confirmation bias.
No, we've seen it a bunch of times already. This is just
go put on your Wrestle Universe. There's nobody there. And if you think we're just banging on the show, what does this show have on Cage Match?
Right now on Cage Match, Noah Voyage 2023 in Yokohama has 4.72. Main event 6.7. The semi-main event, I said 2 earlier. I apologize. It's actually 4.3. So
I bet there's a lot of orange numbers in those ratings.
A lot of orange numbers. Yeah, we got 4.25 for the Alejandro Katoge, that 8-man tag early in the show. 3.35 for Suzuki and Saxon Huxley versus Yone and Inamura. And then Lancelot and Extreme Tiger versus Amakusa and Ninja Mac. 4.04 right now for that. So
this had the atmosphere of a funeral.
Oh, it did.
The atmosphere of the show was terrible. I mean, they did, like I said, though, they did get up for the final minute or so of the title match. They did. They were into the near falls and everything. They popped for the title change. You know, they gasped. They did the gasp. I don't think they were expecting it. But outside of that, it was like, you know, watching a funeral. There's no atmosphere because there's nobody there. Rich, there was nobody there.
You could hear it too. You could hear when the cheers would happen. It was very hollow, very hollow.
And the show stunk.
Yeah.
And the show wasn't good.
Brutal.
But now maybe we know why Kiyomia lost this match.
Yes, let's get to another interesting nugget here. So Kaito Kiyomia announced that he is going to accompany Keiji Muto to his WWE Hall of Fame induction next week in Los Angeles. He has said it's a learning experience. He's going to sit under the tree of Muto and learn even more that he can from this man as he flies to Los Angeles and walks around the WWE Hall of Fame induction ceremony with him. But Joe, you and I think maybe there's a little something more because people were rightfully dunking. How much more can you possibly learn from Keiji Muto? Why are you such a dork? You're going to carry this guy's bags. You're going to take him to restaurants. You're going to drive him around. You're going to wipe his ass. Like, what are you going to do this weekend with Keiji Muto that's going to really help you? But we tend to think there might be something else going on here. What do you think is happening here with Kaito Kiyomia?
Jordan Smith in the chat. Jake Lee coming out looking like a Hanna-Barbera cartoon villain from the 60s.
He does. He does. Yeah, he looks like either looks like Jimmy King from Ready to Rumble or he looks like the like a villain on a cereal box or whatever. If you like turn your cereal box around.
He looks like Dick Dastardly from the Hanna-Barbera cartoon.
Dastardly from Crazy Races or whatever, yeah, or Wacky Races.
Oh God,
that's great. He does kind of look like Dick Dastardly.
Only in our chat where you get that.
Dick Dastardly. Yeah. That show rocks.
Yes,
I'm gonna watch Wacky Races when I go to bed. Hell yeah.
Like, look. Hasame is a great account. She does a great job with the translations. Big time Noah fan. And I know she's just putting out there with the companies, but I understand that. But and it's not. I'm not taking a shot. But anyone else who thinks Kaito Kiyomia is not coming over here to the WWE Hall of Fame on WrestleMania weekend to shake hands and kiss babies and meet the WWE Brain Trust and try to get a job is just charmingly naive. Is that a nice way to put it, Rich?
Yeah, that's probably a good way to put it.
It's charmingly naive to think that that's not what this is. He's coming over here to network. And if that's why they took the title off him, all right, that makes more sense. But the thing with Noah is their booking never makes any sense.
Right. So
and the thing with Kaito Kiyomia, I was thinking about this, Rich. Do a thought exercise for me.
Okay, let's do it.
Picture all of Kaito Kiyomiya's matches over the last 3 years, but imagine that none of them involved the GHC title. It's actually a pretty good push because he's like this feisty young underdog babyface who takes his lumps, but he gets his share of wins too.
Mm-hmm.
And he's on the come up, and he's not good enough to beat Muto. So Muto beats him, he only beats Muto 1 out of 4 times. And he's not good enough to beat a former Triple Crown champion in Jake Lee. But he fights hard and he's young and he's exuberant. And every now and then he picks up a big win, but every now and then he has a losing streak because he's still learning.
Right. Still trying to build himself up, try to figure things out, get his sea legs under him as he's still a youngster trying to, makes sense.
It'd be a pretty good push. But, they push their champion like a fucking loser who is constantly doing the same story of, I've got to prove myself. Doesn't make any sense. But look, if Muto's getting him in the back door here and getting him into WWE, and that's what he wants, fuck it. I think they should sign him.
Hell yeah.
He's talented.
Mm-hmm.
Sign the guy then. I'm going to leave the jokes aside. He's talented and look, is he going to become a star there? There's not a chance in the fucking world. The same thing will happen to him that happens to 99% of all
Akira
of the Japanese
Tozawa, Kushida, Kenta, Io Shirai, Kairi Sane. It can go on.
Right down the line, every one of them.
Hakushi, Taka Michinoku, Dick Togo, Mensteo.
It won't work out, but they'll take if they take one look at him and he's got good size, he's got a good look. If they bother to watch his matches, they'll see that he can work.
Muto vouches for him, probably.
Yeah, Muto's going to push. Yeah, listen, he's going over there to learn? Learn what? How to board a plane?
Right.
What's he learning?
Learning the streets of Los Angeles as he drives Keiji Muto around, yeah.
He's going there to meet WWE and get a fucking job. And he might be under contract till January or whatever, but, then he'll fucking tell us. He'll say, hey, look, I'm a free agent in 8 months. It's nice to meet you, Paul Levesque. Please remember me. He'll give a zip drive like who was the guy who gave Tony Khan the zip drive?
I forget his name, yeah.
But in that case, it was a zip drive to finger wag Tony Khan. Remember?
Yes, about how he wasn't doing a good enough job with representation or whatever. Yeah.
But this time, but Kiyomiya will give a zip
Darius
drive.
Lockhart is what they know to chat was saying. Darius Lockhart,
yeah. But he's going there to fucking network. Don't fool yourself. I mean, come on. That's totally what this is.
Well, and it makes sense too, because Muto's like, I'm done with this company, and hey, kid, you want to come with, and I'll see what I can see if I can get you a job. Of course, you'd say, yeah, sure. Also, I need someone to drive me around and carry my bags or whatever. You want to do that too? It's probably double edged. It's like, hey, I need someone to carry my bags, but hey, I'll network for you. I'm done with these guys. Screw them. You want to go?
Did you see the one machine translation that literally said, "I'm going there to carry bags"?
No, I didn't. That's awesome.
There's a Google, I think it's a Google translation of one of his quotes, and it literally says, "I'm excited to carry bags." Like, you can't make it up.
Yeah, that's great.
You can't make it up. But hey, look, good for him. If that's what he wants, that's fine.
It would also just be another just fantastic chef's kiss to Pro Wrestling Noah over the last 3 years.
He'll be better off. He'll make more money, and he's not going to get pushed, but he'll make more money, and he'll learn what all the others have learned.
Yeah, he'll get to try it out and maybe buck the trend, even though you're not going to buck the trend.
And maybe when he comes back, Noah he'll be viewed as a former WW, and maybe they'll actually, I don't know, book him like he's not a fucking loser. For one, I don't know, and maybe it'll work out like long term too. Who knows? But we got to get to the All Japan quickly.
Yeah, let's talk about good. Let's talk about good Japanese wrestling right now. All Japan is on fire, man. I watched everything.
What did I tell you?
You were right.
I told you beginning of the year.
I know. I've caught back up. I was skeptical. I've caught back up all the way. I watched all of the March 18th show, all of the March 21st show. Our 18th was from Korakuen Hall. The 21st was from Ota City General Gymnasium. I loved pretty much everything that I saw on the show. I mean, not all of it's not great, but there was enough stuff to stink your teeth into. The main event of the Korakuen Hall March 18th show, it was Miyahara, Tsuji Ishikawa, Yuma Anzai, and Yuma Aoyagi versus the Strong Hearts, Shima, El Lindemann, T-Hawk, and Azuchi. Tetsuya Azuchi, and I love that match. And let's talk about a company that understands what it means to push young talent with Yuma Anzai getting the win, defeating, and just how cool was that?
Yeah, who'd he pin?
Shima.
Mm-hmm. How the fuck they talk him into that?
I don't know how they talk Booker Man into that.
Get Slow and Mike Spears on this one, right? I want to know how the fuck they talk Shima into eating a pin from Yuma Anzai.
Who's still kind of young boy, who's still pretty young. I mean, he's still got black trunks and a nice cut. You know what I mean? A nice haircut.
The Azuchi kid was right there.
Yeah, I know. I almost fell out of my chair. I turned around and I went 1, 2, 3, ding, ding, ding. I went, what? I'm looking over and I'm like, is that Anzai on top of Shima for this pinfall? What is happening? Couldn't believe it.
Proud
Loved
of you.
it.
Went back and watched the Korakuens. I thought you were just going to watch the big show.
Nah.
How about Craig putting in the work? How about that?
All Japan Pro Wrestling, baby. I needed to wash my mouth out from the Noah show, so I needed something.
I was actually going to surprise you with the result of this match and see if you even believed me.
I wouldn't have believed you if you told me Anzai pinned Shima. I'd be like, fuck off, Joe. You're lying. There's no way.
Yeah.
And guess what? The crowd went absolutely insane for it. Because they know it's a big deal. And it was a big deal.
Yeah, so we've got some people saying that Shima has done jobs to God. But here's the thing. Like, what's his connection to Anzai? Like, what's his incentive to put this guy over? Right? Like, he's done jobs in Dragon Gate before and you know, like his own guys. Maybe.
Right, but he's doing the mercenary thing again. He's a mercenary now. There's no point.
Where's the incentive to help Anzai get over for Shima? Right. You know what I mean? So that's where it's...
Again, like you said, because there was a guy in that match that could easily have just pinned and nobody would have cared.
Right.
The optics of it were so much better. So he's helping Anzai. He's helping All Japan Pro Wrestling in a way that a lot of wrestlers would not do that. That's what we're saying.
Was the trade-off that Gleat won more matches on the show?
Okay.
As is being opined in the chat.
Sure, but still.
Listen, no one's dumping cold water on this one. I was surprised by this. I think it's a big-time result for Anzai. And I'm very surprised you watch it. Let me ask you this. Did you watch Naruki Doi versus Rising Hayato from the March 14th
I still forgot to watch that one. I know. Alan told me to watch it.
Alan even told me.
I know. And then the show started and someone said something about that match and I was like, fuck, I missed that. I still haven't watched it. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that's well, hey, don't apologize to me. You're the one missing a quality match.
No, I've heard. I need to change that this weekend.
No, it's a really good match. Doi is having an excellent year. They announced again that he's officially a freelancer. I thought that was announced already. But
Yeah, there was a
Dragon Gate
bunch of New Japan or Dragon Gate stuff this week where they're like, all right, Eita's a freelancer, and this guy, or he's like, we're going to let him work other places, and Naruki Doi is officially a freelancer. I'm like, all right, I think we knew that, but okay. But maybe we didn't know that. Maybe you and I knew that, and listeners that open the voice gate knew that, and the rest of us didn't. But I feel like we all knew that. But either way.
I have to apologize to Rising Hayato. He's good, Rich. I've seen enough. He's good.
Okay, you're in.
I don't like the gimmick. I don't like the icky man thing. I never do. But the guy can go. He should have been probably, by all rights, most improved wrestler. Who won most improved anyway? I don't even remember.
Most improved in the Observer last year. Let me find out. I don't even remember.
Probably should have been Rising Hayato. It was probably fucking Dolph Ziggler for the 9th year or something.
Ali.
Yeah. But no, he's good. I got to give it to him.
The Acclaimed were your most improved this year.
All right, I can buy that.
That's fine.
That's not a bad pick. Did he finish in the top 10 at all, Rising Hayato?
That I don't know. I only have the top 3 here.
Okay. Kento Miyahara versus Yoshiki Inamura was the semi, and Miyahara is having these cool singles matches after losing the title, and that was another one. So that was another match worth people's time on that show. I love how they're using Voodoo, they're using the Saitos.
Oh, they've nailed it with them. Yeah, because they're just fucking, they look grimy as hell. They got long, greasy hair now. They're wearing T-shirts. They look like shit. But that's what they should. They do look like shit. And they're not good. Yeah. So this is exactly how you should use them. They pivoted. I'm so glad they pivoted. They tried to tell us, oh, these guys are amateur wrestlers. And they
hot
realized.
Prospects.
Yeah, and we knew it at the time. We're like, these guys are not that good. When are they going to realize this? And they very quickly realized, all right, you guys are just fucking indie scummers now. Are you guys cool with that? And yeah. And it works. It works for them.
It works for them. Their energy is perfect for it. But we should talk about the big show at the Oda City Gym, 1776, the announced attendance. And this is what we're talking about. Listen, Noah ran a GHC title match, and even if they drew 1,300 fans, now they're getting. Now look, I get Yuji Nagata. Okay, is in this main event. And Yuji Nagata can still be an effective draw. And Yuji Nagata drew very well for Noah about 8 years ago or whatever that was when he was on top there. Completely different era, but he did. And this was Yuji Nagata versus Suji Ishikawa. So you would expect that match to outdraw Jake Lee and Kaito Kiyomia, right? Maybe if you would have pushed Kaito Kiyomia properly and utilized Muta when he was around, but that's ship has sailed. But look, the rest of this year is going to be interesting with Muto no longer around. If Noah can first of all not just keep the big gap that they had on All Japan, but keep a gap period. Look at these two shows basically head to head this week.
I thought that was telling. I thought that was very telling, and it looked full. I mean, they didn't put the house lights down, and it looked like, I mean, they looked like they had a good crowd. They weren't hanging from the rafters or whatever, but it looked like a solid crowd. It was a loud crowd, and it was a solid crowd. And again, these guys didn't wrestle in a black abyss the entire time, so that lets you know that they weren't embarrassed by the house.
So Nagata Ishikawa, and now look, Suji Ishikawa is washed up. He's been washed up for 2-3 years now. I fucking love this match.
I was so glad you did. My hot take was, I know he's not good anymore. I know he can't go anymore, but man, he put every bit of effort. He tried so hard to get it back in this match, and I think he did it. I really do. He was working his ass off. He was like, fuck it. I'm going to feel like shit tomorrow. I'm going to feel like shit for a couple of weeks, but I got to go out there and deliver, and he did. He gave every bit of effort, every bit of his body that he still has left. He gave it in this match.
He did what he could.
Yep.
He can't move around real well. He takes ugly-looking bumps. But Yuji Nagata squeezed every last ounce out of Suji Ishikawa, and Ishikawa went out there and worked as hard as he could at this stage of his career. And by the end of this fucking thing, I thought this match was great. I might be the high man on it. I went like 4.5. I fucking love this match. By the time this thing was like a slow burn, and by the time they got cooking at the end, man, they had me. And this company just, it's so funny because now they're bringing in Satoshi Satoshi Kojima for the carnival, right?
Yep.
And it's like we just saw Satoshi Kojima in Noah as the GHC champion. And on one hand, it's like it's a bad look to have these guys who are not pushed anymore in New Japan come in and win your top titles and all that. But on the other hand, these guys can still go and they draw. People like them. And you can draw in these smaller promotions with guys like Yuji Nagata and Satoshi Kojima working in prominent roles, and they're effective in the ring. They're not going to embarrass themselves in the ring. They've barely dropped off at all from what they were 5, even 10 years ago. And, you know,
well, I would say in some cases too, I think their work has improved because they know it's a bigger spot. You know what I mean? They know that they're like Yuji Nagata's. There was a lot of years where Yuji Nagata was just playing the hits, man. He'd go out there, he'd roll his eyes back, he'd tag out. You know what I mean? You're like, yeah, I guess he's done. Whatever. Yeah, guy ain't done. You know what I mean? Like he's had a lot of really, really good matches lately because it's in a big spot. And these guys and Kojima's the same way. We've been screaming about Kojima for years about like, man, they're not utilizing him enough. And he goes out there and does not give his full effort because he knows. But then when he gets in there in big Noah matches, he was going full bore. So no, it's like these guys do feel like they're better because they are better, because they're trying harder. They're really going out there to try to deliver in these spots too, which speaks volumes. Like they don't need to. They don't have to. They can go out here and get lazy. But these guys have not been lazy about anything in these big time matches. So yeah, keep on bringing them on. I'm fine with it.
I mean, they feel motivated.
Yeah. That's a big part. That plays a big part in how well you perform is how motivated you are. I mean, like you can try to pretend it doesn't matter. It absolutely matters.
Yuji Nagata, again, this is another guy, arguably a top 10 wrestler so far this year.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, delivering in all these main events and to get this kind of match out of Tsuji Ishikawa with the physical limitations he has now. I can't remember the last time this guy had a great match. You know, even in the tags, he dogs it these days. He just has nothing left. And, you know, I was just thinking, how good would this have been in like 2016 when Ishikawa was really cooking?
Yeah.
Right? That's what I was thinking about watching this. And, you know, it ended up being great anyway. We don't have time to go over the whole card, but I thought the Dan Tamura Atsuki Aoyagi match was a lot of fun on the undercard. They're getting ready for the junior tag battle of glory. Right, so they did some junior singles matches. And I mean, you know, the rest of the card was, it was there was nothing else where I'm like, you got to go watch this, but it was so much better than the Noah.
Right,
card.
just the energy, and just the energy in the building was so much different.
One company feels like they've got some momentum and they're doing some fresh things, and the arrow's pointing up, and the other company just totally feels like what we feared. Muto's going to go away, and it feels like a fucking funeral. And the arrow is decidedly pointing down. And I should also point out that the most charismatic person on the Noah show was Kento Miyahara, and he didn't even wrestle on the show. We forgot to mention that.
Yeah. That guy owned the room. That guy walked in and owned your fucking room.
Yeah, and he felt like the biggest star on the show. And he doesn't even work there, and he didn't wrestle on the show. And we should also mention on this All Japan, because they're doing the interpromotional stuff, that Kongo shows up, Kano and Manabu Soya show up, and Soya is going to be the other champion carnival guy, and they win the All Japan tag team titles. So, you know, All Japan, again, a company that knows what they're doing from a booking standpoint, because they have the Invaders come in and win their titles. And you know, you when you're doing these kind of stories, you have to be a little unselfish to put some heat and to give the other side some credibility.
Right.
The downside, Nomura blown ACL out for a year, and he's out of the carnival. And they had just gotten him back in the mix, and that is a bummer. That's a bummer to lose him. But yeah, that was notable as well. And you know, these companies are working together, and it's just such a dichotomy in how one of them actually feels fun, vibrant, and exciting, and the other one feels like, you know, fuck, I gotta watch this shit.
Yeah, well, and just even the Noah guys in All Japan too, like Kano and Soya felt like a fucking $1 million, man, coming into Otis City as the Invaders. I just, you know what I mean? Like there was just an energy about those guys. walking in the building, I was like, man, Kano, like maybe we got to get this guy out of here and put him in All Japan, man, because I could love some Kano in All Japan all the time. He just felt like he belonged.
They got to replace Nomura in the Carnival now too, and it's like he had a lot of big matches set up, and that's a big loss. They're going to have to rebook the whole block because he's obviously going to be a player in the block. I don't know if he's going to win the block, but he undoubtedly was going to be a player in the block, and he was going to have important outcomes. So they're going to have to find a replacement for him. They just filled the 2 X spots with Kojima and Soya, and now they're going to have to find a replacement for Nomura, and that's a big loss because he definitely was going to have some important, storylines coming out of that. Whether he was going to win his block or win the tournament, I don't know, but he was definitely going to be a player and have some important matches. So that really is a bummer. With that knee injury, didn't somebody else hurt themselves this week? Maybe not.
Shima, I think, has a shoulder injury. If that's what you're thinking of, yeah, he did. I forget if it was a separated shoulder or something like that, but apparently it's not great.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what I was thinking of. I'll probably think of it as soon as we end the show, but yeah, Nomura, that's a rough one. But yeah, I don't know. You have any other thoughts on All Japan?
No, it's just it feels hot. It feels hot. So definitely, I listen to Joe's advice, and you should listen to my advice as well as Joe's advice. Watch All Japan. It feels it's back. It's back in a big way. The crowds have helped. The energy has helped. Kento Miyahara is on fire as per usual. It feels good right now. It feels like a promotion to keep an eye on this year for sure.
Yeah, hot might be strong.
Yeah, I don't know. Hot to me, but it feels like it has energy for the first time at all. Some of those like late clap crowd All Japan shows were fucking torture, and I was done.
Oh, listen, last year they felt dead as a doornail. It was an awful promotion last year to watch. It was terrible. The energy completely changed this year. One more quick hitter before we end. Recommendation for everybody: Hammerstone versus Jacob Fatu. Awesome match. Well worth your time. Go out of your way to find it.
Okay. It's on Reels, right? Or I don't know, maybe.
I mean, listen, if you've been deleting it off the DVR, no one's going to blame you. But if you've got this week's, or you can track down Hammerstone versus Fatu, a legitimately great match. Not good. Great match. So, I think if they have 10 left, they have 3 left. If it's really 10 episodes, they have 3 left. Because that was 7.
Mm-hmm.
So we keep an eye on that.
Did you hear a new contract, Premier Streaming Network they're on now, internationally. So you can get episodes of MLW Underground after they appear on Reels internationally.
Are we not convinced? Are we sure that's not made up? Premier Streaming Network?
No, it's a real thing. That's a real thing.
It's a real thing?
It's a real thing. Yeah, there's Wrestle Pro Alaska is on the Premier Streaming Network, the show I saw in Alaska. So yeah, they got some big hitters on the Premier Streaming Network. Now, what does that mean for Pro Wrestling TV or whatever, the other one that MLW was on that they're no longer on? I don't know about that. I can't tell you about the future of Pro Wrestling TV.
You ever play fantasy baseball with a guy who just has an itchy finger for trades and just makes trades all the time? And
yes.
You're like, this guy's ruining the league because he makes 3 trades a week. I don't know who's on what team anymore. The trades are dumb. By the end of the year, his team stinks, but he just likes to wheel and deal and make trades. That's Court Bauer. He just likes to
make a deal and send a press release. There's nothing that man loves more than sending a press release.
Gets him all hot and bothered for some Regina when he's making deals and sending out press releases. That man lives for it.
Gotta appreciate it though, right?
Do you gotta
love it. You just gotta love it. So they have so many television contracts. Oh, they're contracted to appear in so many places, but nobody watches them anywhere. It's incredible. It's incredible. But that is it for us here on the Flagship. I want to thank you guys, of course, for listening. Make sure you go to thevoicewrestling.com. Previews, reviews, columns, WrestleMania weekend stuff coming your way very, very soon. As I said, keep an eye on the VOW Podcast Network feed. That is where you're going to get the review Preview audio, I should say. A lot of preview audio. Review audio, we will tell you about that next week. But again, flagshippatreon.com. You are going to get review audio during WrestleMania weekend. The exact specifics of it, we're still trying to figure out. But you are going to get audio, some of the instant nature as well, over at flagshippatreon.com. Yeah, that's it. So go to the website, voiceofwrestling.com. So there's Discord as well if you want to join our Discord and join the conversation that we're having. And then, that's it. So make sure you subscribe to us on your podcast app of choice. Also, Voice Wrestling Podcast Network. Subscribe to the individual shows and the overall podcast feed. It helps out all of us if you subscribe and rate, review, and do all that other fun stuff. So that is Joe. I'm Rich. We will talk to you next time on the Flagship Podcast. Take care.
Discover South Carolina presents The Palmetto Porch, a podcast featuring some of the most uniquely charming destinations across the Palmetto State. I'm Devin Whitmire. Join me as I find out what's off the beaten path as I speak to South Carolina locals who know their towns best. Find The Palmetto Porch wherever you get your podcasts. And for more information about our show, visit scpalmettoporch.com.
Music. It's not just part of our daily lives, it's part of our wrestling fandom as well, and it has been for decades. That's where this show comes in. Music of the Mat, the podcast devoted exclusively to the music of pro wrestling, hosted by Andrew Rich. Hey, that's me. Each episode delivers a different topic with a variety of great guests, fun conversations, musical analysis, and of course, a heartfelt pun or two. New episodes drop every other Tuesday on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or your podcast app of choice. Check out Music of the Mat only on the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network.
Hello everyone, my name is Taylor.
And I'm Kelly.
And we are the co-hosts of Jumping Bomb Audio, the podcast all about Joshi Pro Wrestling here on the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network. Every other Monday, we are with you talking about the biggest news in Joshi, along with show reviews, previews, and much, much more.
So if you're new to Joshi or you've been a longtime fan, this is the show for you. We've got something for everyone here. So check us out, Jumping Bomb Audio.